Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce to you two men who are responsible for Rebellion not being cancelled over the last 5 years. So, without further ado, give it up for Team SWAG.
SWAG.
Let's go.
Yes.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here, mate.
We should probably do it individually. So this is John SWAG. Yes, real name.
Yes, sir.
Swagamackers. And Steph, I'm not going to try and say your second name because...
Extricade.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that really how you say
Yeah.
it?
It's not hard. You just have to pronounce it like actual what the words say.
Yeah. I don't think
That's how you read, bro.
Just say it. Extra
You're the only one struggling with that one.
As you've probably realised over the last few years, we struggle with English. So
Yeah, that's true.
pronouncing anything is pretty hard for us.
We can understand you guys now very
You've
well.
made progress.
How long did it actually take before you really understood us? You know what I mean?
Well, I remember the first time we met, that meeting.
Yeah.
We both walked out after an hour and a half, just making sure that you understand any of what they said.
Yeah.
Had no fucking clue.
That was probably for the best, though, right?
Yeah. Thank God. That's why we're here.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny because in the beginning, I actually had trouble understanding you, but now I just like it. It's much easier after a few years. But I can understand for a few people it's a bit hard in the beginning.
Yeah, I think if you're not used to it, because like the people that we surround ourselves with that are not like Scottish, they understand us. But when we kind of go out of that circle, then people are like, huh?
Yeah,
Like yesterday, last episode we had the strike.
Not yesterday. We don't film these.
We don't film these.
This is live.
This is live. We had the strikers on, and there was a couple of times where they were like, "Can you say that in English, please?"
That's good. There's also a difference when you guys are sober and drunk.
Yeah.
The big
Yeah.
difference,
It's much better when you're drunk, actually.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better when we're
Yeah.
drunk.
I
Really?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, because then they don't need to actually
Don't
make any
speak.
effort. Yeah, because there's nothing to understand.
You give me a thumbs up.
Yeah. It depends how comfortable we are as well. Like if we're comfortable, then we go off on a tangent, right? We just start speaking.
Do you get self-conscious, like sometimes in interviews about your English?
Sometimes only when you can see their face and you can tell by their face they're like,
What is she saying?
but then actually like we always speak about this, but when we started, a lot of people said, "Oh, we could never understand you" at the beginning, and we were like, "Thank God," because we would have honestly
We would have been saying
pissed off
some.
a lot of people
Yeah.
because we were being offensive most of the time, and they were just like, "Hey."
I think it's great when Raymond started telling jokes in the beginning, and they were absolutely like great jokes, but there was only a few people laughing. And he would doubt, like, wasn't that funny?
Yeah.
But then people just had no clue what you said.
Yeah.
Probably better at that point.
Probably.
Yeah.
The best, yeah. Yeah, no, we were... also, when we moved here, like, we were quite stubborn. We were like, yeah, we are speaking, like, English, like... But then when a point came when it was like we were repeating ourselves constantly. Like, whatever we done, we were
That's
repeating.
tiring, though.
That's why I said to him, I was
we
like,
need
we need to change.
Sorry?
What?
Repeat that, please.
But can you guys actually speak Dutch right now?
Klein beetje.
Yeah.
We just say that to everyone. But,
Once I've had a few drinks, I can let it rip. To be honest, but
Yeah?
I'm not
I've
super
never heard it,
confident.
though.
No,
No.
I'm sure we have.
You should switch to Dutch right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck that.
I have been speaking to Dutch in you. That's why you understand us now. You're like,
That's it.
just Dutch with a Scottish
That one
accent.
word,
The thing is, by the time we learn it, like AI and shit like that will be so advanced that we'll have little earpieces, you know? Like, language won't even be a thing.
It's
I think.
already happening.
It is,
Yeah.
I think there's even like this application where you can like record if you guys have to do a shout out in a certain
does it.
language. It just changes to Spanish or whatever.
Strikers showed us it, but they said that you can make it say something different and it'll sound the same accent. So he said, like, someone can say, do an interview in Spanish, and then you convert it to English, but then they change some of the wording or the phrasing, but it looks like you
But
still said
it's
that.
your voice, and it looks
And
like you're
synced
saying
to
it.
your lips also.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Which
That's
is
crazy,
gonna
which
be a
is
little
dangerous
bit-
as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know English. Like, imagine you could only speak Spanish and they send you it and you're like, yeah, that's what I said. And then it's like, okay.
That's not that was your last time in Spain, buddy.
You can't say shit like that these days. None of that woke unicorn. Filthy rave.
No,
You're actually famous, right?
I'm famous right
He's
now.
famous, right?
Yeah.
you
For
were
two reasons, actually.
Two.
For Filthy Rave and also you're Steve Spider.
Ooh, I'm not sure if that's something we can discuss
Oh,
right
we can't
now.
discuss that.
Oh, yeah, the
It's still on the
contracts
still
are
on the
signed.
deal. Oh,
Still
yeah.
working on the final bits.
Yeah, you're working on that. Is it the deal with Sony or was it?
Yeah, no,
Basically
Universal.
just burned the NDA, mate. That was it.
That's it. We're done.
There goes
His
my
one,
career.
his
Thank
one
you,
shot
guys.
to success.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
But what I think is cool about this podcast is I don't think many people in the hardstyle scene have heard from management. It's mostly artists or like maybe a couple of creative people at Q-Dance I've seen before. but not management.
Because a lot of people, I presume, think that you guys
You're intelligent.
that you guys know what you're doing. No, but I think a lot of people would presume that you guys are doing like what an agency does.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Right? I don't think a lot of people know that it's actually quite creative.
No.
Yeah.
It's also the question I get a lot when people ask me like, management. Okay, well, what are you doing every day?
Mm.
They generally don't know.
Then,
I ask you every day.
I agree.
then they meet the artist that you're covering, and they're like, "Oh, you're
I get it.
babysitting." That's what
Yeah.
you're
Yes,
doing.
it is. No, the thing is, most of the time they think that we're involved with, like we're doing the bookings.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're involved. Like we have we stay in touch with the booking agencies and discuss strategies and all of that. But we are a bit more involved in other stuff around it. Also, kind of still depending on which act, but mainly just we always say we don't make music, we don't perform, but all the shit that comes with it,
Yeah.
we try to handle. But for us, we definitely we like the creative stuff, just the concepting and stuff. And
So where would you
Shows.
guys say the line is between like where you let go and the agency take over, and vice versa? More like advancing and stuff like that, right?
yes, I think
Yeah.
we get more involved. Like when, for example, with you guys, when we have that the overdose tour and stuff. That really comes from a concept and a vision. Like where do we want to play, what kind of show, the production and all of that. We sit down with the bookings agency and see how we can, develop a proper roadmap to get you guys to perform in the right places at the right time. But other than that, 9 out of 10 bookings really comes from the sales department, basically,
Yeah.
which is the booking agency. We do, in consultation with you guys, of course, we do approve the booking before it gets confirmed. But yeah, that's a bit like, that's where the line is drawn.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it's something we spoke on the podcast already about, but we got a lot of like people who are talents, and because they know we've got management and stuff like that, the first question they ask us is like, "Oh yeah, what do you like? Can you explain the management and stuff like that?" But I always tell them like, you need to have something first. Like if you go to management and you're expecting them to like take you from 0 to 100, then you're going to be like shocked.
Yeah.
Because in the end, like you need to have something that then they can amplify. They can.
Exactly.
It's like almost like you've got a fire and they can pour gasoline on the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people nowadays are trying to do it the other way around, right?
They
Yeah.
I don't know
expect
if
the
you get
magic
a lot
wand.
of requests from
Yeah.
people asking.
I think also as long as the phone is not ringing, you don't need management.
Yeah.
And especially in hardstyle, you see it a lot. Of course, for every artist is different. Like also the way we work with you guys is very different with Sub-Zero Project or the Tweaks or anyone.
Are we the best? Right? Or you can't say that.
No comment.
Definitely not the easiest, I would say.
No, but there's like, in my
Yes to
opinion, in my opinion, there's a lot of talents out there who have management and everything. I'm like,
Yeah,
What
that's
would
necessary.
you suggest then if you were like speaking to someone who's not got that fire yet? Would you say like go and create that, and then you?
It is quite deceiving because I think sometimes talents look at certain artists, at their success, and then they think there are shortcuts around it. But like you said, we amplify the career of the artists. But everything, I think it starts with making music.
yeah,
Most of the times, first the label gets involved.
yeah,
Few guest releases, maybe get signed to a label, and then from there, slowly following will rise and demand for shows. That's where the booking agency comes around the corner and starts booking them for talent slots and all of that. I don't see any necessary involvement from management until there. The only thing that is sometimes tricky is that nowadays things are going so fast. Like somebody would, do something great on TikTok, and then next thing you know, there's demand for bookings, etc. And like I said, the talents can make decisions at that moment, like
That
signing
affects,
big, yeah, and then you want to kind of like, I think
that's true.
I would say after you've signed to a booking agency, it would be great to have like an unofficial coach that kind of guides you to the next stage in your career. Because I think the young talents, it would be one day of work from management, like, okay, listen, these are the right contracts for you. Make sure that you don't sign yourself up for life to crazy stuff. Develop a concept, focus on your, develop a signature sound. And that's something they can work on already for a really long time.
Yeah.
I understand why sometimes they knock on our door because they feel they're stuck and they're not moving forward. But yeah, no.
I also feel it's healthy because you guys also did that in the early stage of career. You did a lot of the things yourself at first, and you learn from that, and then at a certain point you get management involved. But
yeah, for us it was actually Overdose that made us realize, because up until then, like, we were winging everything. We still kind of are, but we were winging Rebellion sets, like all the big moments that people look back on, like for us in the beginning, they're like, oh, everything was perfect. It's like, I really don't know how, because that's not how we were approaching shit. But then when we done Overdose and we worked with Last Blast and stuff like that, we realised, like, to pull something like that off, it's impossible to wing it.
No.
It's literally impossible. And yeah, shout out to Yorick from Scantrax, because he was the first person that kind of like showed us that and told us that, like, I think you need someone that knows what they're talking about. I don't think that you... And he also said to us, like, even if you knew what you were talking about, why would you...
That's another thing.
Why would you focus on that?
Yeah.
So we were like, yeah. So it was Overdose that made us originally think I think we should look at management.
Yeah.
So
I think it's with every company, you need to get the right people around you.
100%, yeah.
You can't do it alone
No.
at a certain level. No.
Now there's too much moving parts nowadays.
Yeah.
Focus is key in the end, you know. And I think what was perfect about our working way together is that, like you said, you've done a lot of stuff already yourself. So there was a lot of understanding of what we would take over. But yeah, even if it's so time consuming and if something goes wrong, it will take away all the headspace. And at the same time, you're touring, going to shows. But I think you've done a really great job.
To that moment,
Yeah.
The thing is with stuff like that is you don't know what you don't know. That was the problem, because we were looking at it when we first were going to do it, and we were like, yeah, it can't be that hard. Like, you just put some visuals on a screen and jump around, like.
And you only learn when it goes wrong. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts to even get the shit on the screen. So
Yeah.
and you don't want to be the guy that's in the middle, especially when you try to be creative and inspired and making music, and some guys telling you, oh, this isn't never going to work, and this and this, and you want someone to kind of take over the reins.
So I'm guessing you guys must do that a lot, right? Like, you kind of shield us from stuff. And
You
all
guys.
that is-
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, but it makes sense, right? Because, like, does it purposely do, you know what I mean?
In the end, I think it was really clear. You guys knew exactly what you wanted and where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
And then it's our job to take you there. And it's always, in the end, there's so much day-to-day communication also, and that helps you. Like you said, it's all about amplifying and fine-tuning, and comes back to, of course, also trust in what we do. I think you guys were really busy what you were doing yourself, and you made it really far. So especially in the start of our collaboration, I noticed there was a lot more involvement, because you just wanted to make sure that, you know, things go as you wanted to. And
it was hard letting go, because I'm quite a control freak,
yeah.
and I didn't want to I didn't want to give up everything at first, and it was hard to like trust that, because obviously I knew you guys and I trusted you, and like, I think I told you this story, but the thing that I said to Raymond one day is, I was like, the person who's managing Sub-Zero and the Tweakers is the same person. And I just felt it, because the way that everything was happening, the way that it was marketed, the way that social media, I was like, they must be the same person. It just must be. And I didn't actually know that. I hadn't spoke to either of those people and artists. And then I asked someone, and they were like, yeah, it's obviously SWAG management. So yeah, that was why I trusted even to approach you. But it was hard letting go, I'm not going to lie. Because I just like to have that, like if shit goes wrong, I'm okay as long as it was my fault.
Yeah.
it's
then,
totally different.
Then
when
I'm
you
like,
outsource
okay,
it. Yeah.
but I hate when, like, maybe I'm like, I could have done something, or I could have said something that annoys me, like, personally.
But it says something about your involvement. Like, you just want to be involved in everything. And I think we found a very healthy way right now that it's...
Okay, now we don't give a fuck.
I think also a major difference between you guys and other Dutch acts is that you've moved your lives here for the career, and your career is definitely picking up by the time when we sat down, and it was all professionalizing. You realized, like, something your hobby, your passion, turn into something professional, and you know, you want it. It's a big thing to hand over, And yeah.
For sure. What did you guys think the first time you saw Overdose? And did you think this is going to be
I
a
remember
tough one to
that.
manage?
I remember that very well because it was the Tuesday after Supremacy when you guys had the first Overdose. And I remember we were sitting at the office and I showed you, like, look at this fucking show, Overdose Rebellion. You were like, what the fuck? We were like, this is so fucking cool. And
it's funny because, sorry to cut you off, but we know it's really funny because what you said, there must be the same guy behind Sub-Zero Project and then Tweakers. And I remember what I said when I saw the show. It's like,
yeah, so
there's someone behind this is doing a really good job.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think that's what I said, but it's
That's
how does
what
it
you
make
meant.
you feel? Yeah.
You're like, this music is absolutely terrible,
No,
but the
but
visuals are cool.
No, it was an experience.
Yeah. And I think a few weeks later we saw that you guys followed the SWAG Management Instagram. We were like, okay, shit.
It's proper like
And we were all like
trying to fix a girl, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I like one of your posts, and then you like one of my posts.
DMing each other.
Then you like the photo 5 years, like it's
Yeah,
that's weird.
and then I moved on to just your profile, and then it got really weird.
And then I guess you guys spoke at
Hardbase.
Hardbase,
No,
right?
Dedicated, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the ironic thing is we spoke like 3 weeks before COVID. So
Yeah.
we were like, okay, this is going to be cool and stuff like that.
But-
And then COVID hit. And the
Was
funny
it
thing is, I
before
remember
COVID?
maybe like 2 months into COVID, you called me and you were like, so how do you feel? You think we're going to go ahead? And I was like, bro, we're making zero. So you'll be working for free. And then you were like, oh yeah, let's hold off.
0% and 15%
Yeah,
is zero.
But then later on, you were like, no, let's use this time to.
I thought it was a great opportunity.
was really good.
Yeah.
To go,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was messed up because
awkward timing.
we had a lot of plans. We'd spoke, I think,
Yeah.
about like this is what we can do. We can try this. We can try this, and then it was just like
All gone.
nothing,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
was tough. But you guys had the same mentality as us, right? You were like,
Oh, that was the
let's
moment
use
to
this
show.
time.
That was absolutely the time to show what you have. And one thing is a fact: if everyone is going to sit back and wait for things to return,
Because I would actually say like all your artists came out better, right?
Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
think-
so happy that in that period we worked with artists who just wanted to put out music,
Yeah.
doing still like investing in video clips and
Absolutely.
concepts and everything. Because if you then have like 7 artists who are like, yeah, fuck the shit, I'm not doing anything, then it's
Yeah, then
it's
you have
really a
nothing to
hard
do
time.
either. Yeah.
But the weird thing is, I spoke to a couple of people that had that attitude, but I thought that would make me more crazy. To be honest, 50% of the reason I was doing it is so that I didn't go
Going,
crazy.
yeah, exactly.
If I had sat on the couch, I would have been like.
No, I could never have done that. I would have fucking lost my
So
mind.
for me, I was like, surely that's why you would do it. Because some of the artists were like, no, we're just, what's the point? It's the release won't do as well. And
Yeah.
we were like, yeah, that's probably true. But
Still, yeah.
not releasing is worse. You literally just
Yeah.
yeah,
you go off the radar.
Yeah.
But I think it was more for the.
because the live streams were horrible. Like
They were
I
horrible.
I never enjoyed really any of them. But you were
But they
doing
were a
them
good
for the
chance.
people. You weren't doing
Yeah.
them for yourself.
Exactly.
That wasn't the point of them. Like even the Overdose one, like people loved it, but we'd done that in a green room.
Yeah, that was the most
Digital
awkward
dose.
experience.
Yeah,
You remember
It
that?
was so awkward.
So when
Like,
you
couldn't
look
see
at it,
the
it was
shirts.
all CGI. And if you notice in that one, we had to wear purple shirts because it
no,
would
it
have
was
blended.
black shirts.
Was
wasn't
it? I'm sure it was like a purpley colour if I remember.
No, we just
but-
wore the shirts that we brought. Remember,
And-
they get,
yeah.
he never told us till we were standing there, and I always remember he was about to start recording. He looked at us and he was like, "We have a problem." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Look at
You're
your
in a green
t-shirt."
room with green shirts on.
It was just
Yeah.
like floating heads.
Yeah, horrible.
And actually, I'm pretty sure he told us that he filmed it, and then when he was editing it, he realised that the green on our
Our faces,
face,
yes.
so
If you
he
zoom
had,
in.
he had to frame every.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work.
That was a lot of work, yeah.
yeah. That
Shout out to
concept.
Eves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well
That was
done, good
Eves.
job.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're a
Shout
legend
out
for
to
doing
Eves.
that. But yeah, that's what I mean. It wasn't pleasant doing that. We also done the one with Scantrax, remember, in that studio, and
It was tiny.
It-
and we had the
in
overdose
video it looks
outfits.
huge, but honestly,
Probably
I
about the
swear
size of our studio right
it's
now.
tiny where we done it, and we were sweating, and
We couldn't
remember
get
leaving
haircuts
that-
as well, so we looked fucking clapped, man. We were like fucking afros and shit.
proper COVID haircut.
Oh,
but when
man.
you watch back it looks pretty decent. But
You were, like,
I didn't feel
contacting
decent
peop-
at all.
Well,
You used to contact people as if you were trying to buy drugs. Hey, bro, you got a haircut for me, bro?
Can you cut my house? And you're like,
Come cut my hair, bro.
yeah.
I even went to Belgium once to get my hair done.
Yeah, we had who was it that came round and cut our hair every couple of weeks?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Robin.
Robin, his name was, yeah.
We won't mention his last name.
Oh,
Yeah.
the tax man will come for you.
Keep
man.
him off the radar.
Yeah, no, that was a weird time.
Weird
but-
time.
It was a weird time, and it
Must have been tough for you guys, right? Because it was like you had to reshift everything that you were doing, right?
ironically,
This
I was
is-
gonna hire him on March 1st, 2020,
yeah.
because he was still an intern
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then.
Joke.
7 years later, he's still an intern. No, it was like we were ready to go, and then this all happened. I think for us it was really good that we didn't know how long this was last, COVID, because we definitely stayed a lot more motivated and positive than many other people. But the good thing was, and I think the turning point was amazing, because when we noticed that things were shifting and you know, we were allowed to perform again, I could really tell all the artists that we work with got so motivated, because yeah, you guys had really put a lot into your career while you couldn't perform.
Yeah.
And then we of course had the writers camp, which is fucking great.
Yeah.
Everyone was inspired, making great music, and then yeah, the moment the doors opened, you guys were definitely
We're
like
just ready to go. Yeah.
absolutely ready. And there was a lot more appreciation. Also, for example, the Tweakers, they were touring, they were playing like all over the world, weekend in and stuff. And of course, they started Tweaker TV during COVID,
It was a
which
really smart move.
yeah,
Yeah.
huge investment. Absolutely respect for the hard work that they put into it. And now they're back touring and they're still streaming, which is I think is amazing. But no, yeah, it was a
I think-
tough time.
I
But
think them and Sub-Zero done a few like projection events, right? Am I
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Where they done it in a green room and then it got projected.
With,
Was that Australia?
Tomorrowland? No, yeah, for the HSU.
I think they done something.
for,
Like
for,
Yeah.
for Australia, yeah,
Was it
yeah,
Australia?
but
Yeah.
also Tomorrowland.
yeah. But that was
Wow.
online.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually when they
I think
when
we
I
actually
saw
done one as well.
no the projection, but when I first saw it, I was like, "Is this the future?" Because at one point, right during it, the second time they opened and then closed again, I actually started to think, "This might be it. This might be us."
no, yeah.
Like,
Just to be clear for the listeners, like this was an actual event that was going on, but we couldn't travel.
Yeah,
And you
Australia,
guys-
right?
yeah.
Because they were.
And
Yeah.
the expert projected.
you
too.
couldn't get to Australia.
No,
You couldn't
no.
even get to Germany at that
No.
point, right? It was madness. But yeah, you started off. I think Kun was your first artist, right?
Koen was the first act to represent with the company. It's a long time ago already. Funny enough, he was also way back. He was actually one of the artists that got me into back then Jumpstyle. Started listening to that, and then hardstyle. He had, of course, that great concept, the challenge, that YouTube
We
episode.
were so fascinated by that. It was
Unbelievable.
so good.
That was really good. Yeah, no, I started representing him for bookings first. And then after that, I felt like the agency work wasn't really for me. I was much more on the creative side and wanted to manage artists. And yeah, that was the first act that I signed with the company. It was quite a great start, because I think back then he was nominated number 36 in the top 100, and I had zero experience as a manager. So
He was
shout
doing,
out to Koen.
he was doing stuff with Steve Aoki.
Yeah,
Linkin Park remixes and stuff.
Yeah. I
Oh,
remember that. So
jeez.
he just signed to Dimac, Stevie Aoki's label. He dropped his album there, Global Dedication. I remember.
Yeah,
You
I've
guys even-
got a signed copy.
Yeah,
of
you
that,
got the signed copy.
Yeah.
Fucking fanboy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And
It's really signed.
it really kicked off because hardstyle was so new for the outside world, and Global Dedication. Koen's mission was we just want to play everywhere where it's possible. So we traveled around the world a lot, entered new markets. It was really fun. It was actually really great times. And because back then my office space was in the same building as the Dirty Works label, was in Belgium, and a lot of other acts were producing there. Tweakers, Hard Driver, many more, and we started to build a company from there, signing those guys, and it was really it's really funny because in a way all the acts that we get to work with share the same mentality. Everyone really got into the business from a very passionate point of view. Also, when they were younger, visiting the events and all of that, great producers, very creative, open-minded, and I think
Must
now-
have been crazy touring with Kun at that point as well, because nowadays, like, even when a crowd is not like super dedicated to hardstyle, they've still kind of heard it. But I think back then he was probably plenty of people that had literally never heard it before, right? They were like, that was their first time hearing hardstyle.
I think sadly, I think you will never ever experience again
Yeah.
unless you fly from here to Mars and
But what was
plugging your USB
Did you see
stick.
people like shocked and surprised? Like, were they really like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Well, 9 out of 10 shows, you would always be on the lineup where there was like the act before would play some, back then mainly like the commercial house, you know what I mean?
Big room.
Yeah. So, and if it was a one stager, people, I mean, not that
Had
we
no
were
choice.
forced into anything, but they couldn't go anywhere. And it was always so exciting because then after the intro, the first actual hardstyle drop, like intro drop, you would always know like people are going to be shocked, you know, like so that impact was really, really fun. Of course, every market had already some following. You would have like this really like niche fan groups, like finally after all this time, like we get to see him play live. But I think I have a lot of respect for how Koen looked at his agenda, where other artists might be a bit hesitant, like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to try because, you know,
It could go wrong.
yeah, it could go wrong. And he, oh man, the newer the market, the more excited he would be. And it turned out really great for him. Like he really globalized the sound. And I think also what he did really well, because Koen has a lot of DJ experience from before, because he used to be resident at several nightclubs in Belgium. And unlike now, his DJ set would always be different. He would just pick up tracks from other artists, etc., and just really just put together the best set.
Feel the crowd. Or
Exactly,
something.
and of course, there's a lot of his music in there because you want to put it out what you've produced. But I think he was really the right person to introduce people to the sound.
And was it mainly America, or was it like literally everywhere?
It was literally everywhere, yeah.
Where was the strangest place that you went around?
It's difficult because, of course, I have a few top of mind, but I just want to make sure if you just want to.
They're PG. No, but like a country where you were like,
I can't believe they're wanting.
Well,
us in
I
the
can't
house
believe
there,
they're
yeah.
going to have hardstyle.
No,
Because
no,
back
I-
then, even it being outside Holland was crazy, right? Like
I
Germany,
think the funniest thing was the first time Koen had his tour in China. There was, I think it was like 8 or 9 dates in different cities, and that we've never heard of, and all more people living there than just Holland itself. So we went there, and obviously with the whole social media and everything, like it's quite hard to reach the fans. So we had no idea what to expect, right? And then the first show, we were picked up from the hotel and we drove, and the hotel was literally opposite of the club, so it was like a 2-minute drive, which was very unnecessary. It was this massive SUV. But then when we got out of the car, there's this, I think it's like a 50-meter long red carpet, and then left and right were 10 massive flags on each side of the carpet with these huge, like holy flags with Koen's face on it.
Oh no!
And there's like 100 people outside shouting his name.
Shit.
And we're being escorted, what we thought was kind of like military police in front of us. And Koen looks at me and is like, I'm a fucking legend in China, bro. And I'm like, holy shit, we've made it, you know what I mean? And all shouting his name. And then I realized like all the people there had the same Koen signs on. It's like, it's a coincidence. They all built the same. Some of them even had them upside down. And then at the end of the red carpet, the military police took off their plastic helmets.
Oh no!
And then they turned into security. And by the time we're in the green room, they poured us a drink.
Oh,
So
no.
I think it was very friendly, but they really
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we felt welcome.
Yeah.
Like Koen was like, but then we realized like that was very early days that those people were definitely more there to give us a bit of a
Yeah,
confidence boost.
make you feel better.
But at the same time, it did work out well because in general, the Asian countries, they are really into like more up-tempo music. So it definitely went off. We did a lot of touring there. So I think the first time to China, to answer your question, was definitely a new experience, yeah.
What was your favorite Koen song back then? What was the one that you were like?
Well, for me, the original, the Return was definitely what got me into it. But I still really like Licht Uit remix.
Oh
from-
yeah, that's fucking bang.
Iconic.
Yeah. That was that's still
Traveling
like,
as well.
yeah, traveling huge,
Oh,
man.
that's
Yeah,
so good.
still making great music, but for me, I think it's
That's
all
where you
the
have your
same. I have my
memories.
memories of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like the association, you know.
And can you remember when you realized that it was going to be remixed in Linkin Park?
I was there. We were actually touring in the United States, and we were in between the 2 weekends we were there. The first weekend we were actually Koen was supporting Steve Aoki, one of his shows. So we're just talking and hanging out. And then when we flew somewhere else, I think we were flying to Orlando, the track came out and we heard the vocal and we're like, this is massive, right? Koen also being a huge Linkin Park fan. And I literally told him, I was like, why didn't you ask if you can remix this track? And that was like the quickest yes ever. And we were like, okay, let's not get too excited because I'm sure Steve Aoki will need green light from
everyone else.
Yeah, that was a light that never came. No, but
Hey,
no, but the funny thing was like, if you look at the video clip now, don't know if you can remember. That's actually why we made it that way, because it was an iMessage template frame and it's a conversation. It was actually almost literally like that. And then it was funny because he was so excited to remix this track, but we still had 4 or 5 days in the States and 2 shows to play. I think back then it was also Tomorrow World in Atlanta. He was so excited to work on the track, and he already received the stems that he just wanted to go back home and make the track. So, and I think Koen, he's a great producer, but he's really good at elevating tracks in a remix. I think he's done huge remixes. Yeah. But this is, I think, actually coming back to your question, that must be actually one of my favorite tracks.
Must have been a lot of pressure for him though,
huge,
right?
Yeah. But he nailed it. The first version I heard, he's like, this is how I want to do it. And I think, like, I get goosebumps now, like, that is massive. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was around Climax.
I think
it was.
I was at Climax.
Oh my god, that was a game changer for sure. Yeah,
that was huge, mate.
Back in the days. Yeah.
What I really appreciated back then was like with the Challenge album, we had the video content to go with it, almost like the vlogs. That was so sick back then because you never had that. You never had an insight to like how stuff like that worked back then. Now, like, it's pretty common, I guess, but like that back then was so fresh.
Yeah. He put himself on the spot too, because there was a time pressure.
But I think that's why like it grew so big, because people could like attach themselves to like, this guy's just like
he really
like me, he loves it. You know what I mean?
The first proper video clip that I ever noticed though was Zatok's "My Life."
Yeah, that was a fucking
what a
great
huge song.
Yeah, but the video clip, I remember watching it, being like, "Wow, this is fucking crazy."
That is nice.
Directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah, it was
so
really
good. That song, I mean, Zatok's, come on,
bro.
My Life, I'm sure that's one of those tracks that pulled people inside, like into a hardstyle listening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that with Warface. Or was it Warface? The Italians, they have a flavour no matter what genre they do. There's something, right, that they have that just is
100%.
different to everyone else for some
They
reason.
always bring a signature that, you know.
Yeah. TNT are still absolutely smashing the life out of it.
Killing it, bro. Unbelievable.
That's a crazy career, right?
Yeah.
Like, to be relevant kind of the whole time. Because it is hard to be relevant consistently.
Yeah.
Like, obviously
really
you guys would know that better than anybody, but they're like, keeping yourself on that level is the hard work. Because not everyone, but most people can make a song or make a moment, have a good set at a certain place. But it's like, how do you keep that train moving, you know what I mean? And stay relevant for
Massive
people that are younger,
respect.
that are older.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot of... But I think it comes naturally to them. I don't think that they need to think like that.
No, that can't be calculated.
Nah.
And there's definitely been like, especially like Techno Boy had huge years in the beginning, right? And there was also a time that, you know, the bookings definitely declined, that he was a bit out of the market. But yeah, luckily music always prevails. And then I think already since like 4 or 5 years, like the music that they're putting out, I'm so happy that it's being recognized also. And
In all
like,
genres.
yeah,
And shit.
and it's unbeatable. Like you said, all the Italians, they bring something different, which is really good, because the hardstyle always looked very, you know, Dutch orientated.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's especially like the foreign producers that have really, you know,
give it a different flavour.
absolutely necessary too, you know?
Yeah.
We need that.
100%. Yeah, I think it was like, even when we were growing up, it was hard to not look at it as this only Dutch thing, you know what I mean? Because it is. I think it still is.
Yeah.
I think everything still like generates from here.
Yeah.
But it's there's been some good. I'm trying to think what other countries really have. It's only really been Italy and Holland, maybe a little bit Germany as well, but
Scotland.
Maybe now actually it's beneficial to not be Dutch as a new talent.
Maybe.
It's a bit more interesting, I think, because Yeah.
We seen it as a disadvantage, which in the very beginning it definitely
Probably back
was a
then.
disadvantage.
Back then, I think it was. Yeah.
We actually had a big issue with like a promoter taking a chance on us because they had to pay 2 flights,
Yep.
hotel, and we were like shit. And we sometimes we would actually say like we'll pay for our flights, but then you look like you're not that great, right? If you're basically forcing yourself on the lineup, but
Sure.
yeah, we were getting rejected by everybody, and then when we popped off, those same people, it was like they pretended as though that never happened. We were like, yeah, like 3 months ago, you said our demo was shit.
It doesn't work that way
Yeah.
back home, man.
Nah, nah, it's a weird one. But is there anyone that you've like thought like, oh, I wish I'd managed them, or I wish I'd had been involved?
I don't know.
Probably someone like a Techno Boy, Tune Boy, and stuff, right? That would have been quite cool.
Well, funny enough, when I used to work at a bookings agency at Platinum in Amsterdam, the first bookings that I used to do was for Technoboy.
Mm.
That was fun, but I think there's not necessary artists that we thought we should like.
Can't really think of anyone.
Is it really more important for you as well, like that you personally get it rather than business? And
What we said
stuff like
earlier in this chat is that we kind of have to change the way of working, because back in the days there was a much more organic way of, you know, that artists built their career, and then 9 out of 10 you already knew the talents from, you know, shows, etc., and you see them grow, and at a certain point maybe, you know, you want to start working together and take them on for management, and now it can go so quick. Yeah, we've really picked people that we just get along well with. I know it doesn't really sound business minded, but it actually really is, because the collaboration is so full on.
Yeah, you have to deal with each other every day. Like
Yeah.
if there's not a personal click, it doesn't work out. And I also think for us, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I couldn't work for an artist where I don't like the music.
Mm.
And with everyone at SWAG Management, I 100% like their music and everything.
yeah,
Otherwise,
that
you're
was
just
difficult.
working with something you
Nah,
just
yeah.
don't believe in.
Yeah.
You need to get inspired creatively,
Yeah.
and again, shit talking about COVID, but like one of the things we've learned there is that the team was so solid because there was a lot of mutual respect, because of course for the artists everyone was very insecure what was happening, and I think if there were cracks in the relationship or whatever, that was the moment that you separate ways,
it,
and
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
actually opposite, that we felt very safe with the people around us. And I think it's also funny that the artists that we look after, they also get along well with each other, and it says a bit about the ethics and the way we work and think. But it can be really full on, this job, for sure. And sharing success together, of course, is always very easy. But it's the same, like, you know, if you like a soccer team.
Yeah, you need to get
Yeah, if you lose a few matches, you need to be able to sit around the table and understand each other how to win the next one. And I think that's what we look for when we.
Do you guys ever clash in a healthy way?
Us too.
Yeah,
He's very easy to work with.
that is a healthy thing to clash sometimes, all right? Because
Yeah.
means that you're both trying to get the best result.
And
you know?
somewhat like you are both like back and forth, and then out of that comes this like
Yeah.
new thing that you never would have got to if it was just one or the other.
as long as
you
it's
know.
respectful, you know.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is very respectful. I think he says yes to so many things because he's very open-minded. But when he says no, I'm not even going to question it. It's just okay.
You
That's
know he means no.
yeah, exactly. But don't ever say no.
Yeah. Or you're sacked, motherfucker.
Sacked.
How did you guys meet?
It's a funny story.
You can tell whichever version you want to tell. But
I'll leave this one to Steph. Just grab some water, mate.
Yeah, just grabbing some water. So the true story.
yeah, tell the true story.
So I was in school still, and I had to find a company for my internship. And I knew Thomas from Sub-Zero Project already. We both lived in the same town. And yeah, I knew John was the manager of Sub-Zero Project. I knew Thomas by name, not personal, really well. So I think I texted Thomas after asking for his number from his brother. Then I emailed John saying I was looking for an internship. And then he invited me the day before Climax, 2018.
When they done the anthem? Was that the year they done that?
I think that was the end. No, that was 2017, I think.
Year after, yeah.
Oh,
But 2018 was when they premiered Darkest Hour.
Which
that-
one?
Good
that
time to
wasn't
get on board. Good time to get on
He's
board.
trying to steal the credits for that track. It's like,
small song.
yeah.
That basically got you a job. That song.
It's like, okay, we can do this.
So yeah, I came over by his house. We had some talks, and there was a click, and then I started doing my internship. Still doing it
Yeah.
7 years later.
But is that what you wanted to do? Like, is that what you were, or was it just experience?
I knew I wanted to work within the hardstyle scene, but I just didn't know what.
Doing what?
Yeah, so I first wanted to really focus on maybe doing an internship at a event organization. That really didn't work out, and then it was like, I don't know what. So I emailed almost every company in the hardstyle
See,
scene.
that's the true story. I
Yeah.
was the last
Yeah,
pick.
you were the last pick. That was
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. I emailed everyone, Q-Dance, Intense, B2S, like all the agencies. But then, I had the talks with John, and
He was the only one that replied.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Yeah, but it's good that you had that like already passion and knowledge for hardstyle. It wasn't just like I
Yeah.
just want to work somewhere.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then you wouldn't have lasted.
No, that
long.
was definitely the main thing that interested me, because a lot of like students and stuff, of course, wanted to be, like into partying and listening to the music, but it's quite a blurred line between working in the business and partying in the business. And
Yeah.
he did give me that professional impression.
And
yeah.
a lot of people think, right, that like when you're involved with the back end of the parties, that means that you're actually partying.
Yeah, that's not true.
But yeah,
It was actually
Not
when
in the
I was
first years.
I was still at school. Like a lot of classmates who were in the same course as I was, they wanted to work in the industry because they thought indeed like then I
Free
can
parties.
go party,
Yeah.
and that's just not what it is.
no, because if
No.
anyone ever sees you guys backstage with that headset on, you normally look stressed out your mind. You don't look like you're having a good time.
Stress 24/7.
Yeah, the stress can be quite intense. Yeah, I do really think that, like Steph already said, like it's important that you can really like and appreciate the music and the events, because that's how
That's how you get through the dark times, because it does get like not dark in that way, but you know what I mean. It does get
for sure.
parts where you're like, you know what, fuck
You need to be able to
this.
zoom out sometimes.
We've had a couple. We probably can't speak about the details of them on this, but you know what I mean. If you didn't have that passion for it, you would have just been like, okay,
Fuck
nah,
this, bro.
fuck
Yeah.
this. Like,
100%.
100%.
I don't need to do this. But could you maybe run through, like, say for example, like let's run through an overdose or something like that, so people would understand like what you would do, like starting from when till then. 'Cause I don't think people know that. I honestly think people think that we just stand up there and
The first thing they need is a live set. Am I right?
That's a good one for Steph. She loves that.
So really like the early start, the start of making a
The
show.
whole process.
yeah, like
whole
what would be the
process.
process, like, you know what I mean? Because obviously, well, I hope
really
you're
wanna
not just
do
taking money from us for nothing. I hope you're doing at least something behind the scenes.
We weren't prepared for this question.
You really want to do final dose? Okay.
Let's talk about a good one that goes well. One that
No,
goes well.
final dose was a good one. I think with overdose, it was already a nice thing that, of course, you guys came up with overdose. The first dose was completely your thing, so we already had like a view of what it should be. You just start by creating the concept and creating the visuals. Comes a mood board with it, and then we dive into that with you guys, the animator, but also of course Last Blast was involved in the show. The visuals is always a big thing to dive in, a big process. Once that is finished, you're like maybe 2 to 3 weeks before a show. We just sit down with Last Blast. You'll come up with all these ideas, basically towards the event, there's a lot of discussion and a lot of phone calls with each other to make sure every detail is locked in. Yeah, there's so many things that you have to double check as well. There needs to be a VJ. Everything needs to be on point. The content team needs to be briefed well. I think it's a lot of details that people don't see.
People don't see that.
Yeah.
Even like the night before, maybe 2 nights before, like there's a rehearsal. Like
Also the
people
rehearsal.
don't really know that happens, right? Like, but we check to see that
Yeah.
the intro plays or whatever, the visuals done it. Or,
Yeah, all the visuals get mapped properly on the LED. It's not simple like you clicking a visual and bang, it's there. It needs to fit on every LED screen properly.
Yeah.
The lights need to do, especially with overdose, of course, with the multicolor, that needs to be like there, and the light operator needs to know what he needs to do. So yeah, also the rehearsals are a big thing. Yeah.
I think that the big difference between Rebellion as an act and then, of course, your overdose is that every time you just want to push it to a new level, the experience of overdose, which is also what people probably don't think of, but we also strategically map where to play or not. We always try to do max 1 or 2 plays per market, so per country. And that actually puts more pressure on it. And you guys, of course, had like overdose, second dose, final dose. You always want to push it beyond, and it has put a lot of pressure on you guys too. And I think it's always a fun process, and it's challenging because everyone wants to get the most out of it. It's very satisfying when the show goes as hoped. But I think overdose is definitely a different way of working if you look at how we approach the Rebellion DJ sets, etc.
Yeah, because the thing with the Rebellion sets is we do actually have visuals and stuff, but they're not like, it's not the end of the world if one's not playing on a certain track, or if the light does a different thing, or
it's more music driven.
Music driven, yeah. Because you guys obviously manage Sub-Zero project as well, and they also like have pretty in-depth live acts experiences and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like those are quite, like there's a lot of work that goes into
time consuming. Yeah.
Goes into them, right?
It's time consuming, but I think in general hardstyle has set the bar so high when it comes to expectation of shows of acts. If you see what every individual artist is actually expected to deliver is really out of proportion to other genres. At the same time, I do really think the strength of hardstyle has always been the overall experience. It's music combined with show, and then of course the most important foundation is the dedicated crowd. This is also why people that are not familiar with hardstyle and they see it for the first time, they're absolutely like blown away. Like it goes beyond if you like the music or not. It's just the whole package.
Yeah. That's why I liked the 4 of a kind thing, because I feel like they kind of brought it back a little bit, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't bare, but it looked like, okay, this is more organic again, rather than being like throwing loads of 3D stuff just at people's faces that doesn't really make sense and stuff like that. But would you say like the ratio between investment and show is like the highest in hardstyle? You know, for example, like the amount that hardstyle overall would invest in their show compared to what they get paid, and then other genres.
Anima has entered the chat.
Bing, bing.
Boom.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because they do, like that's one thing about hardstyle is which people maybe don't know is, but the artists invest a lot in stuff.
Every artist has a live act these days, so
because a lot of people like would say, oh, like you would rely on the organizers' visuals or something, but in hardstyle, most acts try to do their own thing within their own time slot and stuff. And
maybe
I feel like in other genres,
maybe that's really also because hardstyle always needs to run a little bit faster too.
Needs to be a bit more like up.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 reasons. Is that, and I like it. That we as hardstyle are very different than other genres in a way that the main markets, let's say just Holland, Belgium, Germany, it's very uncommon that certain artists perform that many times for the same audience, but just the hardstyle fans are just so dedicated. Is their first pick in lifestyle. So it's very common that you visit 3, 4, 5 festivals a year at least. And that means that the artist is challenged to make sure that it stays interesting also towards the fans. And then that sets the bar already higher on musical level. You guys put out much more music than any other dance act. Yeah. And it's sad to say, but if you haven't released for 2 or 3 months, you know, it's
people think you're doing nothing.
You're doing nothing, and you actually, you even get kind of hate for it. Where other artists maybe play once a year in a certain market, and they just do what they're known for, and then they move on to the next one. So it's quite pressuring to maintain your position, and it sounds shit because it really sounds calculated, but sometimes it really becomes it becomes like that. So just to give an example, if you have 3 plays in Holland this summer, for people to understand why there's live acts and back-to-backs in hardstyle is just because if Rebellion plays 3 times in 3 months' time, we will say, okay, here's the DJ set, as you would expect from the guys. Here we do a live act, 9 out of 10, that would be then 30 minutes, and there's a whole show around it. And the third play would be a back-to-back, so we keep it fresh and interesting. Also to avoid that we overkill, the whole experience. But within those boundaries, we always want to push new experiences. That's where all the edits come from, and yada yada yada. So it's something we've created ourselves. Yeah.
But there's nothing we can do about it at the same time because the market's concentrated to these areas, and you don't dictate that, right? That's something that we can't decide. Like, we can't just make hardstyle popular in Uruguay or something, we can't do it. Like, it's either they like it or they don't. You can get, like you say, like Kun, and I think Sub-Zero do a really good job of that. They go to places maybe where there's something happening but nothing yet, and then they kind of introduce them so that, like, if they go somewhere and people like that, then maybe when a Rebellion or someone a bit more edgier comes, they're already prepared.
The doors are opened.
Yeah. Whereas if we were the first ones there, they would be like, oh, this may be too much.
It's one of the things that we've noticed when we manage artists that, let's say, hardstyle artists, when they pop off, it's 9 out of 10 in the Dutch market, right? Once they start perform internationally, it's a big switch because, like I just said before, if you play 3 times in the Netherlands and within you want to be creative and start making edits, if you go play for the first time in what you just said, Uruguay, could be possible. You actually have to realize how to put your set together. And there's going to be tracks in there that I really, really expect you to play as Rebellion that you might even have played for a couple of years here.
We have this discussion a lot, don't we?
We do, yeah.
We do, yeah. When we play somewhere, it's hard. We actually spoke about it with the Strikers as well. Like, for us, like, a song from a year ago is old.
Yeah.
Which, and probably, like you say, for the Dutch-German market, they would probably say, yeah, it's not, I like hearing it, but you're right, it is old. But yeah, if you go to somewhere like Australia's, we done an Asian tour last year, like, they still want to hear that. Like, Titanium's a good one. Like, we always kind of skip it now in Europe, but then when we go outside, it's like...
It's probably your to-go-to track. And also, they don't want to hear edits of the original either.
Exactly, yeah.
It's almost like, imagine your favorite band that you've never seen live. And they've been around for years, and they perform and you buy a ticket, and all of a sudden they're really proud to showcase some stuff they made in the last 3 months. It could be great. Don't get me wrong.
I hate when bands do that.
Yeah,
bro. I really hate that.
Yeah.
I just want to hear the ones that already know.
This is not what I bought my ticket for.
Nah.
So that's a bit of a balance, and it also makes it much more fun for artists that play worldwide, because then every booking will be a different experience, and it comes down to actually DJing and knowing what the audience expects.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the one thing that, like, it doesn't make hardstyle tough, but it is the reality of hardstyle is that it is concentrated to certain areas. It's not, like, spread out as much as maybe some other genres. And that's also why you see, like, it feels a lot heavier in hardstyle. So, for example, if one festival doesn't do well, I think it hurts the scene a lot more because the area is so concentrated.
Yeah.
Whereas, for example, if someone said, oh, yeah, techno's not really working in this country, then people are like,
the world is a lot bigger.
But whereas if you say that about hardstyle, I feel like, maybe because we're in it, but I feel like it
feels like one ship.
Hurts a bit more, shit, is the whole scene going down, or is it, what's going on?
The tricky thing about that, and this is something I've been personally missing the last years, is that sometimes I think especially new talents are so stopped trying to be very creative and putting a signature on their sound, because it feels that it's very limited to what is liked. And that sometimes I really miss when people put out new music, that it all starts to become the sound the same, because we're all relying on this one,
Nobody wants to be the underground anymore.
No.
But at the end of the day, that's where most, exciting things are born.
Yeah,
like, you need to make that growth, so people will look at our career now and maybe be like, oh, I want to be like Rebellion. Then if you want to be Rebellion, you need to start, because when we started, we were the most obscure thing in hardstyle, compared to like Wild Styles, Headhunters. We were like way below, and we were playing this. We were playing sometimes to like 200 people and loving it.
Yeah.
But
That's
a
where
lot
it
of people
starts.
now, they would see that as failure. So if you start and you're like,
There is no slow, steady growth anymore. Like
gone.
so, and some artists do go up like this, but they're going to be so shocked at what it means to stay there and what it takes to stay there. They don't have the
Exactly.
skill set to keep that up.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
it's,
nothing wrong with that. That's what I mean. They should
I
just
think
be
it's
honest.
really
Like,
easy to get popular
we
these
wouldn't have
days.
been able
But
to handle that if when we came up, if they'd went, okay, like you done well at the Indigo, let's put you on the Red at Defcon, we would have also sunk.
Yeah.
We were not ready for that either.
No.
But maybe we thought in our minds, like if they'd said that, we
The-
would have been like, yeah,
the
let's go.
first year we were supposed to play the Red actually was like
Was
the
when they cut
COVID,
the
and
days
I don't
down.
think we were ready for it.
No,
I
we
think
weren't.
if we'd got that then, we would have been disappointed coming off. I think.
Yeah.
But when we came back after
Also-
COVID, we had like
also
the
there
AI
was-
album and shit.
There was
So we were,
2018, we played the main stage of Reverse before we met you guys, and we were really excited about it. But then as soon as we started playing, we were like, why are we playing the main stage of Reverse?
Was a
It's
bit
like
too soon,
Our
yeah.
music was
Yeah. I
can
not,
remember.
Not ready.
yeah, it was really
and
too
it felt
soon.
awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
Because
I was
we
telling him.
just
I was
went
like, why
from the
did
year
we do
before
that?
smashing the
Lotto.
lotto,
Yeah.
and I was like, right, it can't be that much of a jump, but it's a fucking huge jump to
Huge
take
jump.
like
But
that
peop-
size
but-
of crowd.
It takes a lot for people to just be honest about that. Like people see that as a negative, but I don't see that as a negative. Like if our sound works better somewhere,
Oh man.
I would
sure.
rather play that place
Yeah.
than you know what I mean. Like than play a main stage just so we can get a good photo.
Yeah,
Like,
and also
that
the
means
ye-
nothing.
The year later, or 2 years later, I'm not sure which year you played the main stage again. So when you had like the
Simulation,
the simulation
yes.
tracks, then you're
Mm.
ready for it because you got the ammunition.
Exactly.
And then on purpose, actually, we did final dose
Yeah.
in the Lotto, which is stupid because your head is wired like, okay, is this the main stage? But choosing between the main stage and the second stage, well, I don't think there's such a thing. It's just the right setting with the right crowd. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Of
That was the
course.
right pick, but that's a little bit. The
It's hard to
issue.
explain that to someone
Yeah, you
nowadays, right?
can't.
They don't really want to listen to that.
No.
But maybe it's also a bit deceiving because a lot of these artists are like within 2 years or sometimes playing
Yeah.
in the Ziggo Dome and stuff like that, which is not natural.
And
No.
Actually.
it's kind of counterproductive for a promoter as well, because, for example, like say you get booked for a festival and you're not ready to play the main stage, but the promoter puts you on the main stage, and then say you half fill the main stage. In
Yeah.
the promoter's eyes, you have failed, right?
Mhm.
But actually, if you move those half people to the third stage or second stage, and you've packed that out,
Yeah,
so
the,
and then the
vibe, eh?
promoter thinks, oh my god, this is the next. So the next game you're really valuable to the promoter, but actually you've done the opposite. You've made the promoter think you're not that valuable. Actually,
It's
So-
all perspective, bro. Like, if we would do a hard ticket show, like we've done with you guys, like you organize your own event for people that listen now. Let's say the capacity is 3,500 people, and if you would sell that out, that's a huge accomplishment, and that will definitely also benefit your, your image towards promoters, clients. Let's say it would have been a venue of 8,000 people, and you sell 6,000 people, which is massive.
it's a failure.
It's a failure because you were 2,000 tickets short. And that's something that we really notice now, that people refuse to go through the whole process from, they want to skip certain phases. And I think it's a bit of a, let's say, like it's the TikTok mentality, and you can't blame anyone for it, that sometimes overnight somebody can be, what is a star? Well, you can be a star, but you're not ready maybe yet to actually deliver this in a show or a performance. I mean, never say never, but sometimes it's just so healthy to see artists take certain steps and also get the awareness and the appreciation of what they're going through, because the acts that have become big overnight, they are so struggling to stay where they are. And that is something that I think is difficult. And I also see it back in the music. You can definitely make music that is much more likely to pop off on TikTok. But what is a 10-second moment against an actual track of 3 or 4 minutes that should, deliver an experience? And this is what I personally am missing really right now in hardstyle. And it's easier said than done, of course, for the artists that already have a big profile and following. I get it, like, it's easier said than done. But at the same time, we need those talents to be active and dare to, be creative and build. But they all expect that it happens in 6 months,
And it should be music first.
Yeah.
Always.
If you're already like thinking about, like, for example, like a main stage, right, and your skill and your passion lies in a type of music doesn't fit the main stage, then there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what you should do, because as soon as you deviate from that, then you might make music you think fits a main stage.
Yeah.
Then someone else would just play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as an artist, it's not going to get you there. And that's actually something I noticed at most festivals now as well. Like, you know how you have, I would say there's like three steps. So you have like the really the talent stage, then you have the one that's just before the main stage, people that could be on the main stage or they couldn't be, but they're in between, and then you have the main stage. I feel like that middle stage now is so hard to program.
Yeah,
Right?
it's really hard.
There is no in between.
Yeah, there's no in between now,
No.
because a lot of the people that get to there are like, no, it's main stage. But yeah, you've
Yeah.
got to have that thing, you know, like even the blue at DEF CON, like I feel like people don't see that as a special thing anymore, but the blues, like for me growing up, was
Huge.
just as special as red.
That's the
Yeah.
main stage for the raw acts.
Exactly.
And
Some of the best memories I have actually
Are in the blue.
Absolutely.
But when
They're
sometimes
sick.
I speak to some people and it's like the blues just like meh. And I'm like, no, bro.
There was one year we played there. It was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I
Like
think every year
absolutely
we played there, it
phenomenal.
was
But there was
like
one year in my mind. I can't remember which year it was. Maybe it was 2018 or 17, and it was fucking sick.
If you could go back now, like what top of mind? Your favorite show?
I would rather. No, seriously, I think I'd do the Indigo again,
Yeah.
just for that, like, because it was that moment. Then I was like, shit, we've maybe
Something's happening.
something's happening.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't big. Maybe there was what, like 1,000 people there max.
No, more than that.
You think
More.
the Indigo?
People were all over the counters and stuff like
I
that.
think
was
you-
there.
Yeah. Well, maybe like let's say between 1,000, 2,000 people there, and you could just feel that there was something going on. And
The thing that was really impressive about that set though, and that's why I kind of like pre-warned you, because I was a bit like, we were doing well and we were really hyped, but DEF CON put us on. Main stage was Headhunters, Blue was Delete VIP, first time festival VIP,
Holy shit.
Clash of
and
the
then
Titans.
us. So I remember saying to you like that morning, like, listen, if there's not a lot of people, it's not because of us, it's because of these things. So I was actually already pre-programming myself for disappointment. But it was when we stood up and I saw that many people, that's why I was genuinely like, wow.
But then again,
There's so much other choices at the same time.
yeah, that's true.
But then again, it's so much shows actually how the hardstyle community thinks, which is great because I mean both are massive names, Headhunters and Delete doing a special show, but you guys are fresh, new act. There's a buzz, and that always gets supported by the hardstyle fans. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what and yeah.
Even still to this day, you notice that, like the smaller guys, like
Yep.
if there's a buzz about them, they'll get the favoured over
Yep.
the other bigger artists or whatever.
I remember well that set at DEF CON.
Mm.
Like, obviously, I heard about your music, but when I played it at home, I was like, it's not really my thing yet.
Yeah.
But obviously, there was a big buzz going on around Rebellion. I remember I went to that set just because I wanted to see what the hype was about. And I was standing there not for long, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, okay, maybe it's not my thing, but I get it now.
Mm.
Because sometimes you also have artists that you listen to on your laptop and you're like, but then you experience
need
it
to see it,
live,
yeah.
you hear the music on a good sound system, you're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. It was more an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like-
quality back then of those songs were fucking terrible, but they were unique for sure.
Yeah, it was something different.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something that is missing right now. But maybe that's also like you guys always have been hungry to get to that next step.
Yeah.
Because you're playing at the UV. Okay, what's next? Okay, going to the blue. Right now, a lot of those artists are maybe already playing on the blue.
Yeah.
Maybe even bigger. So why bother trying to come up with that new thing?
And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
that amount of people in the blue wouldn't have been that impressive.
Mm.
No.
Like if we pulled the same crowd in the blue, people would have been like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was good. That's what I mean. It was the second
moments.
year also we played
We played
a
the.
blue set, and then on the Sunday they said, can you play back to back with Regain?
It was that was the year.
And
That second year was
holy-
fucking
like,
sick.
I always remember like people at Q-Dance saying to us like that was the first time we ever got like the emergency
Mm.
call from the security to say like
There's too many
wrong.
people in. Yeah.
something's going to happen here.
Mhm.
This is not safe. Like they were like we couldn't believe how many people turned up to try and get
Yeah.
into that one area.
The thing is that the smaller place, the more intimate place, they're so important because especially like the first time I saw you guys perform, the first thing that really like interested me was like how involved like how you would perform on stage. It was not an act, you were actually genuinely standing for what you were playing, you know, like that's so contagious for the people in the front row because it really like it makes it really legit.
Yeah.
And those kind of settings, those 1,000 to 1,500 capacity stages or venues, the people that are there, they know what they're there for. And that's how you really get like the ultimate experience. And nowadays, like when talents want to skip that phase and go to perform for like a bigger mass, you're actually missing like a super important play that's part of it. Like you just said, like I asked you what was your best play ever, and you just mentioned the Indigo, like because the setting and everything was right.
It's probably one of the smallest ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's maybe now talents that are doing really well. Don't get me wrong, but they've never actually had that moment where they
They would be embarrassed to post
Yeah, it's
pictures
like,
of them
what-
playing
yeah,
there. I
it's
was like,
what
oh,
the
yeah, I'm
fuck am I
playing on
doing here?
stages
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, bro.
Yeah.
You kidding?
The first overdose also. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like the amount of people, it doesn't really matter as much.
It wasn't
It's
the-
about what's
the ex-
happening when they're there. Right?
Yeah, it was like the experience and the feeling it gave me more than as like an accomplishment feeling rather
Yeah.
than how many people are here. But you
Yeah.
just feel like, all right, we've done something.
It's
fucking
very
cool
legit.
here.
It's really you guys
Mhm.
that have like created the setting. And again, I would say this to anyone else is that the artist is so important to be interactive with the crowd. There are huge stages that certain artists play, but you're almost so disconnected that it's really hard to transfer the vibe and the energy. I think a really good example was last year. Obviously, Sub-Zero Project had their debut on the main stage of Tomorrowland. And don't get me wrong, it was super sad that the main stage burned down the day before. I mean, like it was tragic. In the end, what Tomorrowland team pulled off was unbelievable.
Insane.
That they got a
Crazy.
stage there. Ironically, now looking back,
it made
was-
it more special.
it made it more special
Mm.
because now that stage was so on the, right in front of the people. First of all, the people weren't sure that morning if the whole festival was on.
Mhm.
Then it happens, of course, that's a bus that, is priceless. And then the stage, I think, was perfect for Nigel and Thomas because you could really see them. Otherwise, it would have been a very, this massive decorated stages and you're just somewhere sitting on a balcony with a USB stick, which for certain genres works well. But I think hardstyle is a good example that you want to have that click with the crowd. Of course, it was a very sad thing that the stage burned down. But looking back, it turned out very unique, at least as experience.
Yeah,
Did you
people
have
will
any-
remember that
Yeah.
edition for
Absolutely,
forever.
yeah.
They
Did you
were
have
so
anything that you
loud.
couldn't do that you were going to do?
No, because the boys were playing during daytime, so we didn't rely on the lasers or the pyros or whatever. It was always going to be visuals and the performance with CO2 and confetti, and those were, I think, if I say it correctly, those were the allocated SFX that was available. So there was no laser or etc. that we were missing out on, and the whole set that the boys had prepared. We did reconsider the track list, like is it a different thing now or whatever, of course, and we stick to the plan. I think it was an amazing debut for them.
Can you remember you first seen the photo of that fire? Did you think it was fake?
Oh
I
no,
thought it was
100%.
AI.
Yeah, because the AI was still there. I can remember being like, what the fuck?
I'm 40 years old. I still see videos online. I'm like, and now actually, it was the first time I thought like this must be AI,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't. And
It was how quick it developed, right?
Yeah, because I seen a photo originally and it was just like on the side piece.
Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later, it's gone.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was very like I couldn't believe it because I was there the night before, just to check out the stage and do some
You're
rehearsal
smoking
things.
cigarettes, right? You
Oh,
said.
So I actually saw the stage, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of already picturing how it would be on the weekend.
It was an insane stage as
Insane,
well.
yeah.
It was
Unbelievable.
So
I fucking hate to
fucking
say it, but I think I've been to pretty much every edition. This was the
The best one.
best one.
good. Really?
It was absolutely the best one.
Because
and
for people that don't know, you go on the second weekend, right, and have a
yeah,
You don't do any management. You just only have.
no,
fun.
no. For me, it's like that one.
But as a
time
visitor,
year.
you thought that was the best.
I thought because you could also see how it transitions from daytime to nighttime. It had all these and I think also from what I understood, they've never worked as long on the stage, on the main stage. Like this was a very special project that they had people on the team to do the ultimate.
But do you spend a lot of time at the main stage? Only the last couple hours or something.
If I visit, I've definitely most of the time the end of the day. That's also probably because then it's acts that I like to see. But the festival has so much to bring. I understand people from the other side of the world, like they see photos or video of the main stage, but when you're there, and this again is so deceiving because the main stage makes it such a priority. But I think, for example, the library stage is unreal. Freedom stage is probably my favorite because it's very, especially for underground acts, it's very artist friendly because you can really do your own thing there, bring your own show. It has this really massive nightclub setting. So sometimes when
actually like the one with the Mexico, but the only thing I don't like is it's not always my music. But I think if the music was right there, that would be the best vibe.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
good
know.
very
vibe.
chilled. Yeah.
We were there for a while last year. Because we went last year, right?
Like the music, but it was just more
just
like
vibing.
vibing there.
But you mean the atmosphere?
Is that what it's called?
But the big tent with the lights?
No,
the Crystal Garden.
Yeah,
Crystal Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a vibe there.
The only act I wanted to see last year was Steve and Jello back-to-back, Axel back-to-back with...
So Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah. For some reason they didn't call it Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah.
But
was
still,
it financial?
still people figured out, and that was really naive because I was just thought I could... Because that stage, for the people that haven't been, is actually one of the few stages that's only connected by bridges because it's on the water.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even like near the stage. I actually was like still miles away, and I was stuck in a queue, and I didn't really understand what was happening, but no one could enter, so
Get in, yeah.
almost made it.
What's the little one that looks like a white grotto? You know the one that's just like we watched Dan
Rave
Styles
Cave.
there and Danik.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it the Euphoria?
He played Titanium. I'm sure.
Yeah.
We
It's
were
just
standing-
along from the Crystal Garden.
Yeah.
It's literally like
just
a
a little one,
Atlant-
a little
Atlantis.
bit. It's,
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
that
They have the
was-
water.
that's quite a cool one.
That's really cool.
Cool
Yeah.
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said that I'd love to just go to Tomorrowlands for just a weekend and just chill
So
out.
magical,
Chill-
man. on
chill out.
vacation.
chill out. Just a couple
Just-
beers, nothing
You
special.
can
Just
go with
chilling.
John on a second weekend.
I don't think I'd survive.
No.
I don't think I'd make it alive.
In the end, I think it's unbelievable how
What's the weirdest thing you've seen at Tomorrowland?
the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
No, like if you like, for example, just the topic food, right? The food that they serve there is just
It's crazy.
it's crazy. It's so good, man. Like it's
Wild.
like which is important because some people spend there 4 days. You kind of want at least like but it's crazy. Like they have these actual experiences where restaurants have their own setup and stuff, and it's definitely a festival that has something to bring for everyone, and that the experience every year is beyond. And such
I
a
think
huge
everyone should
diversity.
try it once in their life, right? Even if it's not your music. Because if I'm being honest, it's not 100% my music. But every time we've just went,
Yeah, it's been
you
sick.
get it.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need to love the music. You can
No.
still have a great time or something like
I
that.
think just the experience itself goes above like the music. Like it's you don't even like. There's nice that there's acts playing and it's part of the experience. But like and just walking around is unbelievable. There's also don't forget that stage, the core stage, which if you don't know about it, you might not find it because you kind of have to walk over a bridge, and it's like in a little bit of foresty area. There you think if you're in Tulum, Mexico, like every setting is totally different.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a favorite festival? I know yours already, but
I think for me, it's from a perspective of still a fan back in the days, going to parties in tents.
really, it's
Yeah,
still your favorite one.
Intense 2015 was my first. That was like amazing. But also Tomorrowland. Besides that, it's
Yeah.
every year it's something. I think even though if at Tomorrowland, if you're going, you're not really a fan of the music. Standing the last 2 hours at the main stage on the hill, looking over the whole crowd and the stage, that's,
Impressive. Yeah.
that's iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people talk about Ultra being the best. And when we went, I thought it was really cool. But I still think that all the European ones, in my opinion, are better.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if it
different.
was because the day we went, I wasn't 100% on the music either. You know, like the main stage, it was all people really that I wasn't really.
Who was playing? Was it Deadmau5?
No, that he was on the second one.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. If you're watching, nah, I can't even remember. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I think
But I just
Ultra's
mean, like, when-
unique with the setting.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a Miami thing. But a lot of people would say that's the best in the world, right? Like
I
over
think from like a
Tomorrowland.
DJ aspect, if you're playing that main stage at Ultra with a view of the city in the background, that's a fucking sick
Then
view.
you know you made it.
Yeah,
More than
that's a
Tomorrowland?
sick view. Yeah, that's a better view. in
You
my
would rather play there than Tomorrowland.
I don't know about rather, but I think just if you're going by view alone, it's a better view.
Yeah, like
It's more fucking like baller.
visitors.
It's harder to play, right?
Sorry?
It's a harder stage to get on than
Yeah.
the Tomorrowland stage because there's
Yeah,
less
definitely.
less slots,
100%.
and they always have a little bit problems with the weather, right? Like it's weird. It's like
Last
they're the
few
most
years,
unlucky.
Florida and
festival.
March, like it can go two ways. Like
Yeah.
I think the first years from the videos that I've seen, I've been there many times before myself. It was actually always really nice weather, but the last few years it's been some storm and rain,
Yeah.
which is always sad in any setting. But I think the Ultra Miami is, the Miami experience. You expect the sun and
Yeah.
the skyline of the city and the water, the ocean there.
Yeah. But what is the weirdest thing you've seen on tour? There must be something weird that you can tell us, or funny at least.
One thing was weird, just top of mind. We were in Spain in Medusa.
I knew you were gonna tell that one.
We're in so people might not notice, but like the backstage where the art is, like where we chill or prepare the sets. Sometimes it's always a different setting, but outdoor festivals, the big ones, they put up these like how do you call them? Containers, like they look like
Wait, for backstage, you
trailers.
mean?
Yeah, like trailers. So we had our own trailer, and 9 out of 10, there's the fridge is there with the drinks and stuff, and there was a little setup with a couch, and we just flew in from a different show, and we sat down and we're trying to go through the set, and in our container, which is very private, and while we're looking at the laptop, the door opens and this girl walks in, and she walks to the other side of the container. Well, it's a small container, but like opposite of us, and there's a plant there, and she pulls down her pants and pisses on the plant.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And
While she was shouting like all these words in Spanish.
yeah, and we were so flabbergasted because it was she did it with so much confidence that I almost doubted, like, are we in the wrong room?
Yeah.
And and then she looked up and called us a coño and left. So there was, and,
While she tried to pull out her panties again. Coño!
And then-
she walked out.
How was the plant after that? Was that
At least she's
it was
like,
a fake plant. It came to life actually. and
fake plant with a camera?
But of course, Nigel really well. Like half Sub-Zero Project, he's really hard to impress. So he's just like looked up and said, "That's weird, no?" I'm like, "You're making it much more weird than you don't."
Really? You don't
Yeah.
do that? It's funny you say that because a funny story that I was going to say that Steph knows about was also in Spain. I don't know if you remember it. The makeup
one?
at Fabric.
Oh my god. That was,
So we were
that was so funny.
we were doing the overdose at Fabric, and we obviously when we were in Holland we used the same makeup artist Eleanor, but when we were there they got their own one, and we were like, whatever. So it was already, there was other problems, probably can't mention them, but with the makeup. But then they started Raymond first, and we were looking and we were like, okay, she's starting the other way around, maybe it's just the way she does it, okay. And then I came back in and I could see us, I think we had like a time constraint as well, right? Like so maybe 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Raymond's face and I was like, this is the second dose.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do because you were already stressed out, so I was like, should I tell him? Or should I just go with it?
But
And then you kind of came in,
No,
you went to me, that doesn't look right? And I was like, I think that might be the second dose. And then
Yeah.
we looked at our phone.
yeah.
She had the photo up of the second dose, right?
But at first, I didn't even see it because, like, we were like the set almost started, the show was almost started, and she was struggling. You can see that.
Yeah.
So you don't want to push her too much.
and I fucking hate getting the makeup done. I fucking hate sitting for that long just so still.
Yeah.
And I looked at you and you're like, you're gonna need to do it again. I'm like, no, bro, please. So I had to sit there basically 2 times getting it redone again.
That was so funny.
Because I was being the middleman because she was upset with you because you were upset.
Yeah.
And I was kind of trying to play both sides. I was like, you're doing a good job and stuff like that. But you were like, no, like, we need to move right now.
Yeah.
And then the worst thing is, they had done it in a container, but it was an actual container. I don't remember, like something like a shipping
Container, yeah.
So we put all our stuff there, and I remember I put my t-shirt down on like the thing, and it fell onto the floor, and I never
It was
thought
all
about it. We were in a
fucking
rush and
covered
pulled
in
it on.
dust.
No, it was covered in those like things, shavings from wood. So there was shavings from wood, like the little sharp ones. I put the t-shirt on, I can just feel like these things like stabbing into me, but I was like, it doesn't matter, like brushed it off, and as soon as we started jumping up down, I could feel them like going into my back. And I looked at him and half his makeup was just like that.
Sliding off my face.
And I just went like,
The
it's gonna
makeup
be
is
okay.
always
There was another one of talking about the makeup. It was actually like we were back and forth with this promoter. I'm not going to say who it was, and they were like, "Yeah, we've got a makeup artist for you guys." And usually, like a makeup artist to come, they've got the professional makeup, they've got like loads of shit.
Yeah.
And we turned up, and this girl had a tray of face paints, like that you
It
would
was
get
like
for a
children.
child. For
Like
a
a
child, just
birthday
the little
party.
circle ones like this, and a glass of water. And I'm looking at him going, "No." And it was that time we took Bart from Last Blast, and he was not happy. He was like, "This is not a
No,
fucking makeup artist." And
the funny thing about it is you were getting it done right, and I could see it was going wrong, but I could also see that this was it. Like, so
Yeah.
there was nothing better we could do. And yeah, like not to like. Well, I think it isn't professional, but you could see that the girl had been on drugs because she was like doing them like this, right? So, but I was like, and she was being really like anxious about it. So I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna put any pressure.
It's probably stress, not drugs.
Stress, yeah, maybe. But I said
our
she
jaw was going from side to side, bro. I was
like
not
she's like a typewriter. But then she kept on looking at me and saying like, it's okay. And obviously I didn't have the heart to be like, no, it doesn't look right.
Oh, yeah, I know
so
that
I
one,
was
that's
like,
bad.
yeah, keep on going. But I could see her getting more anxious. She was like, you sure? Because she was looking at the picture, and even she knows. But I was like, yeah, what we're gonna do? You've turned up.
what's
with
the point?
face paint.
That's really kind.
So I was being nice to her, keeping
Yeah.
her all chill and stuff. And then Bart walked in. He walked in, he looked at Raymond, and he went, "What the fuck happened to your face?" I could just see her like that, and I was like,
He was going, "This is not good enough. Start again." I was like, "We've not got time. But then we started playing, obviously, and because it's just fucking face paint, it just ran off her face. So by the end of the set, obviously, you're sweating.
God.
There was no makeup on her face anymore.
Yeah.
I remember which show that was, but we're not going to mention
No,
it.
we're not going to mention it, but yeah, I suppose it's because I think the overdose makeup as well. One thing is it was deceiving. Like
Yeah.
if you saw a photo, you were like, "It's not that hard,"
It was
or
really
"It's not
hard.
a lot of makeup." But then when you actually went to do it, it's fucking.
You're
so
sitting there
much
for quite a
makeup.
long time, yeah.
and time consuming. And then like when she started with one of you guys, you can already see like, okay, this one took 30 minutes. You're like, shit, we only got 20 minutes left. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
There was one as well we don't need to mention, but you two really fell out. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
She could have killed me.
Yeah, she hated.
She
you,
hated
bro.
me,
I was
yeah.
even starting to worry for you. I was like,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
I
your
remember
house
which
now.
one that
Oh,
was.
wait, I remember that one too.
Yeah. She was like, every time you went out the room, she was.
She was painting my face going, "What the fuck is wrong with your manager?" I was like, "He's not that bad.
We only had 20 minutes. I was like,
He's a really angry little man, isn't he?"
That was actually the one that started with the green. Remember? And
Yeah.
You said to me, "Why is she starting with the green?" And then she heard you, I think, and she was like, "Because I'm a makeup artist, this is how I do it." And she was really pissed off that you questioned her. So we're like, "Okay." So then she took so long to do Raymond's because if you start with the green,
You have to
You have to
basically
go
go around
you
it.
have to do it twice.
It's really.
And then she started me, and she was like, "I think I'm going to start with the black." first."
yeah.
Told you.
I was like,
You should have shouted, "I'm a makeup artist."
I'm a makeup manager, bitch.
yeah. No, if I'm being honest, like,
You guys have a lot more like, funny stories to tell, actually, but we also want to make sure that
yeah,
everything
the
is, you know,
PG,
like-
yeah.
yeah. But I have one funny one that I can share, but again, we won't mention where this was. But I think you guys can remember that one time that I was doing the SFX for an act, and it was like midday, like 6 or 7 o'clock in the festival, and I had a bit of a language struggle with the local people, and we thought we understood each other what the pyro was. So I thought I was just gonna hit a button, and like fire, just like a one cue of pyro would go off, right? And I was really surprised the size of the button. Was it like, you remember those massive red ones? And it had like a safety lid on it.
Trump has the same one, right?
So it was the first drop in the set, and I went to hit the cue, and then next thing you know, apparently I started the end show of the festival that was supposed to be at 11 at night, and it was actually, it started quite slow, like boom, 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 like fireworks, and then I see the act that was playing looking at me like, what's happening? Because this is in the middle of a break of a track, and all you can hear, and it goes more and more and more. And next thing you know, like this set is like 12 minutes, just
It's a lot of
Madness of
fireworks.
burning money, and I'm just slowly walking away from the
When
situation.
did you realize that this is not?
After 3 seconds, but after a
too
minute,
late.
it's like it was not good.
You can't.
They don't have like an override.
No,
They
it
like.
was apparently like a time coded thing, and I understood why the lid was on the button. But the guy who actually told me like what he looked really impressed. Like, that's great, yeah. and then I just walked away from
Was
the whole.
the content good at least? Must
It's
have been
great. We,
decent.
Yeah.
we were
It
filming.
was sick.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was worth it
I
for
was
that.
filming, and yeah, that was good.
We've had that before as well, right?
But I was just about to say that
I
we
don't know
got
if we can mention the
that,
artist, just in case they bill us for it.
yeah, you fucking use. We got left. We were playing at a party
playing after
after
a
a really
huge
big
artist.
DJ.
And they
Oh.
left.
And he left us some
all their
pyro.
shots.
Oh, wait, yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
And we were. You were like, you came up to me and you were like, I think they've left. Like,
But it
Is
was
this-
like stadium
is this
pyro,
The
so
south
it wasn't just
south
we
of
had.
Europe.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So-
but we were genuinely. I remember playing and being like,
Whoa.
"What the fuck is going on?"
That was
Yeah,
so much fun.
I felt like
The
the biggest DJ in the world. Really, I was like,
That was crazy. The content from there was next level.
Yeah.
yeah,
We hit the jackpot that day.
yeah,
100%.
But we said after it, right?
We're
we were
getting an
like,
invoice for
"There's
that
gonna be
for
an-
sure."
there's gonna be some-
Also, one time we had it the other way around because before Sub-Zero Project, Marshmallow was playing,
Oh, yeah.
and I think they were shooting fireworks on every drop, just every sound. And then we were on, and then the stage was like, "You guys have 3 cues." I said, "Okay." So it's like they were doing 300 an hour, and after that we got like 3 times to hit the button. It's like, is there any left? No.
It's tough as well because the crowd have just experienced.
It's like,
Like-
yeah,
Yeah.
how do you beat that?
A 1 hour event show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't understand like that stuff costs a lot. Of
They're
fucking
expensive.
money.
Yes, sir.
It's not a cheap thing. to
That's
be
when you
doing.
know you're a big DJ though. Like they just just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let those kids
Take
use
it
it.
down.
We're like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Let them have
That, that
fun.
is a real thing. Like when sometimes people hear like what a big DJ gets paid, they think that's what they're just like getting transferred in their bank account, but they don't understand that they have like management. They spend a lot of money on pyro show, people that go
whole
the day
team
before.
flying, yeah.
Like they.
Like
So
a
those
big
big
act,
fees
yeah.
make sense a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the major festivals, if you have the closing slots, you want to bring a show. If this act gets 200,000 paid, easily 60 to 80 at least will go to fees, flights, hotels. This is a crew. These people have crews from like 8 to 10 people.
Yeah.
Still a lot of money they make. Don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, a lot goes into the actual show and making it happen right.
Because it also benefits you for all your other shows because that's what
Yeah.
people see and feel, and
Yeah.
so it makes sense to invest in your own
I
show.
think
right?
Excision is such a good example that
Yeah.
what he invests in his visuals. People that don't even really know his music will be familiar with videos that they've
Yeah.
seen of the content.
I would go and see him, and I'm not 100% in his music,
No,
but I would
just
go
for
and see
that.
it. Yeah,
Just for the show, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Also, like Enema's new thing.
Yep.
When I first saw the
You
thing, I
sent me.
I was like, bro,
You said,
has he
man,
got
how the fuck?
projectors or something?
How the
like
fuck is this possible?
that? Have you
I
seen
was
it? The
like-
one
Yeah.
where it walks out.
It's
But
crazy.
It's on the live stream.
Yeah, it's
right?
over
not-
there.
Never happened.
It's still impressive to get it like cued and
The only
tracked.
thing now is like I feel like that's been done right. It's very hard.
Yeah,
now
everyone's
because
trying to hop on the.
Everyone thinks like, where do you go with the story? And
Not being disrespectful, but like some, for example, Eric Preets, he's a genius. Don't get me wrong, but of course, like the Holo show, I wanted to check it out because I was just the videos that you saw online, and then you realize like how important the music is to also connect because it is really for the people that like the music, and then you get the show with it. But if you're only there to, check out the visuals, it is.
as the whole thing, also you need to be at a
Specific
certain
point
place
for them
to
to
see
look
it.
good.
Or
I was standing in the center crowd, so I think that was the right spot to be.
Yeah, you can also see it in the back.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
bob it in sides.
Still, you
it
can
is.
still
yeah.
see it.
Yeah. But it
he's
is
doing it with
impressive.
a cage though, right? Like it's basically like a cage, and it's been projected in the cage.
I think it's like
No,
loads of like strips or something.
Yeah, no, but it's mainly the back wall. Just has this huge, like 3D visuals like happening, and you do see the things that you already saw online. But again, like his music, and it's surely it's taste. Don't get me wrong, but I always feel show and music should really blend to make this beyond experience.
Because your favorite act, they actually don't do anything like that, right?
No, it's all about the music.
It's all
Yeah.
about the music, yeah.
Yeah.
That's strange, right? Well, it's not strange, but it's like uncommon that something that big can.
I think they even refuse to do it because it's just.
Do they even have like visuals? If you know. what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Is
they
it? But is it like just the lyrics?
do. No, it's just quite minimalistic, just like abstract stuff.
Sometimes you don't even see them,
No.
right? Because they're all in black. Like,
Yeah.
takes a lot to actually know that they're there. Like,
It's like the opposite strategy for hardstyle.
but I think maybe they do that because they believe in the product, right?
I think it only shows like how solid the music is, and that there's so much extra elements might distract. I mean, when they play in big festivals, the pyros are huge. You know, there's impact.
the one
moments.
at Creamfields
That
where
was-
they nearly set the whole stage up.
Yeah, they burn the whole. They
burn
burn.
It was
the
like
one,
4 million worth of LED or
Yeah,
something.
it wasn't planned, was it?
No, I think it was like the huge. They have these huge flames. It's actually I think on during Antidote. I think it's like the big one. Then they have the XXL fires. From what I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but the wind was blowing pretty bad that day, so the flames were actually like hitting the LED walls, and it actually burned a hole in it. Yeah.
Because Rammstein do a big flame thing, but they do it in a tower,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it goes way
It's out
above.
the way, yeah.
Goes away a bit, but their one's also fucking crazy shit.
Remember when we were standing on a helicopter platform in Mexico a few weeks ago?
Yeah, and
I
they
thought
let
we were
one
going to
off.
get real pyro.
There was also the flames just flew over our heads. Remember that?
Yeah, but we thought we were going to
Yeah,
get like
lightning
the
strike.
storm was
Yeah.
it was the big storm was coming. Yeah.
That was a fun
That
weekend.
was fun though. Yeah.
Also,
good.
like probably one of our first, like within our first 10 shows, like I didn't understand the whole like stage thing, so I jumped on I jumped on the
The
sub.
sub.
And I'm standing there. But to be fair, the front of house saw me, and he still chose to press the button.
He probably done it intentionally. He was like, he's going to learn our lesson
Yeah,
today.
this is going to be a tough lesson
Where's
for
this?
him.
This was in Amsterdam. I think I want to say it was one of the suppressions, if I'm being honest.
Remember, but I just remember like the drop hitting and then it was blackout. The guy
fuck.
just put all the CO2.
way.
everything
CO2.
on. Yeah, there's a
It was
video
quite
of me,
funny
and
because
I
he was
just
wearing like
disappeared.
a jacksuit, a tracksuit for a jacket, and it was just flapping.
It just went up like a bird. Like,
It was funny.
yeah, I also fell off.
You
one
fell-
time,
you
like,
fell one
proper
time as
fell
well.
right off there, and then I learned like
You need to
Strange.
stay away
I
from
saw
that.
Psychopunks long time ago at Reverse main stage, and he was hit by a stadium shooter with the confetti.
Yeah, I saw the video of that
Literally
actually.
blew him off the fucking
I'm pretty
stage.
sure it was an villain that got hit by the flame.
Mm.
That wasn't long ago.
Also, yeah.
It was, I think it
I've
was
been
last
very
year.
close to one of the flames when I've been out the
You
front.
need to check your eyebrows every time you do like some of the.
Yeah.
There was one festival last year as well. Remember the fire was fucking insane.
We've
Everyone
had a
was doing
couple
that
of them.
thing with, like, the
Oh, the waves, yeah.
Yeah, there was a
Those
couple
are
of shows.
intense, man. You get in the way of those. You're
Some of
like,
the overdose shows that we've done as well, because you've got the jacket on and it's fucking,
Yeah.
you're sweating.
Boiling.
yeah,
I was like, can you turn the flames off, please?
but they do add something.
It's
I nowadays, like I don't like too much, but I still love CO2, man. Like it's
Yeah.
old school, but something about
The only
it is
reason
old school.
I think they do it better these days because they've got the CO2 that isn't as loud as
Yeah.
it used to be.
Eco-jets,
Like
yeah.
those ones, especially in the old clubs, they were fucking annoying,
You hear the
bro.
music.
Yeah, it fucking
it
annoyed
You
does
me.
can't
have-
hear the first seconds of the drop.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going crazy and you're just dancing to a song that could be shit.
I don't want to sound old, but it does have something iconic because I can even
I agree.
remember like the old EDM, like the proper bangers.
Yeah.
If you would listen to them on Spotify, you,
You
can
could
even
hear it,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
the CUT.
But
like,
actually, they started putting down sweeps, right? Like the big
Right.
yeah,
like on the songs because I think people they were used to that like impact. But
I think especially for hardstyle, it's annoying because when it's on the drop, like it actually overshadows the kicks.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Eco Jets are definitely shout out to Magic FX. I think they've developed those.
the
Yeah.
good ones, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. I like those. I do like think that maybe now I'm a little bit sick of the pop ones. I think they're being overdone. You know, the firework pops.
yeah.
Mm.
I just think when you see them every set now, you're a bit like,
I think it's
I
just
don't know if the crowd
it's just
after
a
the
lot,
first time
a
are
lot
like,
of money for that moment, you know.
yeah.
I do see like especially like in the techno, like they're really downscaling like the show apart from light and lasers of course.
They love that the rocket on the strip.
Yeah.
They love that.
Right.
It's
Right?
like
Works
it's
on
the
every
best
drop.
50 euro spend ever. Like, hey.
yeah. Although the first time I saw that was Supremacy, and I was genuinely like, how the fuck did they just do that?
Mm.
Didn't
I thi-
one drop in the crowd recently?
Yeah.
The actual
There's been
line.
a few ones.
Yeah.
There's a few pyro incidents. But I don't think it's that dangerous, right? Like,
Oof, I
Everything.
don't know. I think we even had a camera guy a few weeks back. I think at Rebirth, his camera broke down because of a
The lasers.
confetti shot.
Oh.
no, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I take my statement back. Don't
Take it
stand
back.
in the way, fireworks kids.
like his whole lens was just
Yeah.
completely broken.
I've seen lasers doing that. Like
Lasers
they're-
as well.
Like they're trying to get the shot, and then one of the lasers just
Boom.
dink. Like, that's it. Game over.
Yeah.
Hey guys, look, the summer ahead of us. What are like the highlights you're looking forward to?
This summer, loads.
I think
Like,
the DEFCON one will be sick.
yeah.
It's something new for us and something new for the fans. And I think it's like an overall experience of
Yeah.
360 Rebellion. I think that would be cool.
I'm also looking forward to the Asia tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing Malaysia, South Korea, and then
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That'll be cool, yeah.
Very different.
Because I don't think
Nice.
we've never done South Korea or Japan.
And also at the end of the summer, we're doing an anthem.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool as well
Yeah.
when we wrap it up. No, we're getting there.
No
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah, nah, I think people will guess that anyway. But nah, I think that, and it's always the usual things that are the highlights. But some of them have changed over the years, because actually one of my highlights from last year's was Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one,
Yeah.
because you're like, it's not expected to go well.
I think that was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know.
Even
exactly
for
what you
us,
mean.
because
Yeah.
that's not what we are like. We're not always trying to do that, but I really felt like the crowd we brought in was decent size, and also the people that were there were really enjoying what we were playing. So after that, I was really buzzing.
I think it's also just another recognition that like your sound is really, globalizing a lot, and those kind of festivals you get rewarded when
Yeah.
people know about you and they specifically decide at that slot to come witness your set. And respectfully, there were a lot of more like bigger stages that might have been a bit more appealing. I understand that's like those moments unexpectedly, they mean a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had it a few weeks ago at Tomorrowland Winter.
Yeah.
That was also
That
really
was really
sick.
sick, because we were not expecting the worst, but we
A bit
had no
apprehensive.
expectations, which was good, because we were like, if no one's there, or if people are there and they don't like it, like that would be obvious. But the fact that people were like losing their shit, we were like, wow, this is pretty impressive.
The thing we see now is the last year and a half or two that people in different places and levels are being introduced to harder music, which is really good for everyone. So it's becoming much more common that people are just really like excited to check out an act that plays, the hardest stuff. And
We actually had someone come up to us, and they were like, straight after the set, and they were like, what was that? And we were like, what was what? And I thought they were talking about a track.
yeah,
So I was like, which one? And they were like, no, what was that? What did you just play? And we were like, hardstyle. And they were like, no, that wasn't hardstyle. And we were like, no, really, that was hardstyle. And then they were like, type in your name. And I typed in our name, and then they were like, oh, you've got a new fan. And
that's
that was
cool.
And even some of the team for Tomorrowlands, they came along because it was like the last set, just to see what it was. And they were like, yeah, we don't normally like this sometimes, but
I remember I paid
the
that guy.
harder, yeah.
Huh?
So I remember I paid that guy.
Yeah.
Just the wee.
Go and give them a little
wee
bit of
boost.
support.
It's such a surreal thing as well, because obviously in hardstyle now, like all the biggest DJs, like we're friends with them or we know them and we see them every week, so there's no real surprises anymore. But we were waiting on our pickup, and Axwell walked past us, and that was the first time in a long time I said to Adrenaline, I was like, that was Axwell, and he was also like, oh my god, and he was just standing there, and I was like, can you ask for a photo? Can you? And then eventually I was
didn't?
Like, I was like, it's too lame.
Nah, it's too, because we were waiting in the pickup bit. I think that's a.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, bro, you played here, like,
Yeah.
shit, like.
He was probably thinking the same.
But
Imagine he was like, is that Rebellion?
yeah.
Fuck, yeah.
Is that those Zag kick buttons?
Yeah, sorry, I know this is not professional.
But like
But
the
for me, he's like,
oh, man,
he's the GOAT.
He's
yeah,
a
he's
legend.
fucking.
Fucking
He's the real
Yeah.
deal.
He's the GOAT. I think he's my favorite of the three.
Who's your favorite?
I think just all three together.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, who's your favorite? Raymond O'Gary?
Yeah, but you
I know
don't.
you have one.
No, but do you not have like one that you like their solo career a bit more than the rest?
Yeah,
Surely Axwell.
Sebastian Ingrosso.
Really?
Yeah, I think the way he came back, well, after one of the 5 times they split up, when he dropped Reload,
Yeah.
that was really
A
I
statement.
always forget that Tommy Trash is on it.
unbelievable, right?
Did you see the
Yeah.
thing the other day? That's what reminded me of
that's
it. I was like,
100%, yeah.
was he
Yeah.
on that song?
I feel
He's been
bad because I
involved in-
should know, but I actually was reminded. It's like, oh yeah, Tommy Trash that makes a lot.
And
of
he
cool
actually
stuff.
said in an interview that he wrote the
Yeah. Nah, that's recently they said that.
Yeah.
Um,
But you forget, right? It's
Yeah.
quite sad when you think about it, right? Some of the biggest hits.
he's done some really big stuff. Though.
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah, for me, Axwell was and it was just because I don't think I'd ever seen him before, obviously. Like in it was just the way
In
it
the
just walked
flesh.
past, just like it was like nothing, and I was like,
Yeah, it's the real deal there though. Like at Tomorrowland Winter, like the setup, the
Yeah.
hospitality is fucking
Yeah.
next,
level,
bro.
right? Yeah.
We were like waiting up the stair and people were just eating like steak and caviar and stuff, and we were like, "Can I get a beer, bro?" Fucking drinking beer. I can't even got a glass for it.
Where's my Iron Brew?
Fucking. He's like, "You can't be ordering beer here."
No, it's a really cool vibe, and you can tell that the artists actually they're really they chill. They also see it as a bit of a holiday and a very like private, safe
yeah, they were just
environment.
walking around. The big
Yeah.
acts were just walking like where the lodges were
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think next year we said that I'd like to go a bit longer.
It's a huge experience, man. It's fun. Yeah.
couple of days. Is there any festivals that are still on your bucket list for artists? I think probably an artist has played at almost every one now, right?
Yes, I would definitely like to see one of you guys playing a bigger stage at Ultra Miami one day.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of I think the worldwide stage would fit any
That
of you
that
guys,
stage would be sick.
and 100% you would pull it off. So that's really something that we would hope to.
Holy Priest showed it.
Yeah,
You played a couple of our songs.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
We're so spoiled because 8 years ago, if you asked me okay, which festival you really want to go, I would say EDC Vegas, Ultra Miami, Tomorrowland.
And they've all been done. Yeah.
Been at all of them. But for me personally, do you guys know Lost Lands in the USA?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dubstep one. That looks next. The
That is
stages there are
next level.
crazy, man.
Holy shit.
I actually think Zag Kicks could
I-
work there.
I said that. I think
have a
the
little
Zach
hardstyle
thing could
stage.
really.
Because, but that music, that's why Little Texas is popping off,
Yeah.
because actually that Zag sound is very similar to the bassy music.
Yes,
Yeah, the sound design's
yeah.
practically the same.
So that's why I think that there's a lot of synergy there.
yeah,
that
I think
people
so
don't
too.
even know is there. You know what I mean?
because the really deep and punchy kicks don't really always work there that well.
No.
It needs to be a bit more.
And they also don't like loads of sounds. So in hardstyle, you've got the leads, you've got
it's
the
too fat.
everything going
Yeah.
on. Whereas I think in those kind of countries, they just like the bass. They just want to feel
The simplicity of it.
excision and stuff. It's just like getting smashed in the face, and then.
Yeah,
But nah, for us, I think that's also something that we talked about. We still love the core audience, and for me, that's where I come from. So
Yep.
I'm driven by trying to do new things because I like to do new things. But yeah, I always find this thing when you come back and you play the Intense and the Defcons and the Decibels, you're reminded of how fucking good they actually are.
unbelievable.
I think just like you said, we're a bit spoiled, or we play there every year, or we've played there a few years. So sometimes people get lost and they think, oh, it's not that special. But when you tour a bit and you play all these amazing festivals and you think, yeah, they're cool, you come back and you realize how well organized
Absolutely.
the
also-
Dutch festivals
yeah, it's
actually
great.
are, or the German ones, or
And there are massive acts, big acts that actually
want to
want
play.
it. So this year, for example, right, DEFCON is definitely open up to different acts and genres. And it's literally the other way around for you guys when you see festivals I would love to play there one day. And I'm glad that you guys still have that realization and appreciation, because then you go around the world. In general, I think in Holland and Germany, festivals are so well organized. I mean, with the best intention, but I've been to festivals that they were still
There's not even a backstage.
no, there's no backstage, but for example, there was a festival when we went for rehearsals, and then they were actually still putting up the production 3 hours before doors. And then they said can we have your advice? And they were asking me, do you want the LED vertical or horizontally? I'm like, it's I just wanted to not fall down.
Work.
Yeah. Which also has its charm, of course, but there's definitely there's
There's
a
just
lot of
something
good stuff.
exotic about. I think it's just that's also a thing in life, right? There's something exotic about something that's not close to home.
Yeah.
So people have this thing is a festival in Thailand seems more exotic because it's in Thailand compared to something down the road like an Intense. But and for anybody who's not gone to an Intense or a Defcon regularly, when they go there, they're blown away, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Because it's insane.
Yeah.
And the scale, sometimes I have it as well. I look back in our posts or our photos, and I look at them and objectively, and not in the moment, and I'm like, holy shit. If I bet you people in other genres would come onto our page and be like,
What is this?
Look at this.
That's next
look
level.
how many people, look at the stage, look at this shot, look at this. But because we do it every week.
Yeah.
It kind of like we don't feel.
I try to remind the local people sometimes, like if you're from Oosterwijk, for Intense, like for some people that's the only festival they go to in a year. But also really good example from recently, Paaspop in Schijndel.
Yeah.
Like the majority are local people, and I hope they have the understanding that the level of production.
Look at the King's Day parties, bro. That's just for a king's birthday.
It's not just the king. But yeah,
He's the king.
King
No, but
Pils.
you know what I mean, like, and it's not like in some countries I feel like they get one party like that. But if you look at King's Day, you've got like your supersized King Dance, and you've got other genres that are also packed to the max. Like
it also does make the crowd
538.
so spoiled. Like,
Yeah,
they
of
get to
course.
see- like they're so spoiled and
That's
yeah.
It's also the reason why everywhere around the world at the big events, if you go into the front of house, it's all Dutch people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, because they all do those type of shows.
Yeah.
Very comforting old boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about
It's
it,
a
for
Dutch
such
product.
a small country, like they're responsible musically, like culturally, for so much stuff.
You know what the main reason is why the level
I do,
of-
but I don't know if we can say on the podcast. But we both know the main reason why.
No. The reason why the quality
flower
of
fields.
festival the quality of
greenhouses.
festivals for a reason is so high in the Netherlands because there's so many festivals
Competition,
you can't afford to lack, you know. So
Yeah.
that's a bit it, and there's so much room for professionalism. So all the companies like even the tent builders and all of that, like if you go camping on a festival on the other side of the world, it's so likely that actual parts of the production or even the little teepee tents that you're sleeping in, they're all coming from here. It has become an export product, but at the same time, again, it's really hard to, overwhelm or satisfy the young Dutch festival goers because their standard is just
It's
So
crazy.
unrealistic if you think of it.
Yeah. We were also like in Scotland, the one thing that they do not care about is production. Like they've definitely got better at it now, but back when we were younger, like a stage was literally just a stage. There was no like concept or anything. So for us, when we first came to like a Def Con or something, we were absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
But we always felt that like the Dutch were just like, yeah, this is normal. Yeah. Like, why are you so? It's just.
What are you on about?
And also,
Never seen LED before on our
also
life.
every year, I don't know if it still happens, but every year people used to like really detail complain about a Def Con stage or something. They're like, yeah, that was cool, but
But
this part could have. It's like, bro,
we're so
always-
spoiled, man.
Yeah.
It's almost the
This
year
is like a
before was
fucking-
better.
If you're
Yeah.
gonna discuss the DEFCON 1 main stage
Yeah.
about if you like it or not, or
yeah.
what could have been
There
done
could have
better,
been
Yeah.
one more
It's
cross
spoiled.
car
I
on the
think it could have
stage.
been a bit bigger. It's not as tall as last year.
Yeah.
You're
And
like,
And then you
bro.
can't be more Dutch to
The-
even like
The
also-
one with the 5 nights is going to be hard to top, though, right?
yeah, that was
Oh,
sick.
yeah.
My favorite one was actually the cranes. I still think that's my favorite.
2015.
Yeah, with the cranes where they
Yeah.
shot,
For
shot
Solar.
everything off the
I think
crane.
it was Solar
That was just,
they were playing, right?
that was just insane.
For me, this climax, man. The stage is climax 2014 with the
With
head.
the head, that was
Oh,
insane.
Man. That can't be topped.
No,
That was
That
insane.
cannot be topped. But that's what I mean. You just see that as normal now, right? Like,
yeah.
it's not
I
that-
still remember the first time I walked into the Gelredome during hard bass, looking out of all the people. I was like, holy
That
shit.
that that moment's sick. I remember
that
that as well.
moment.
When you
That
go
was
up
my
the
first
stairs.
Dutch party.
Yeah.
Was hard bass. So when you come out of the it's like a football stadium.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You come out the tunnel and it's like, "Pwah."
Yeah.
This is gonna be some night.
Yeah, that's what's sad about the Gelredome not having hardstyle parties anymore, because that feeling is fucking. Well,
There is something
there's
special
one,
there.
There's what, yeah, they've already announced it hard bass, but I mean, like just regularly.
Mhm.
You know, what I mean, I would love to
We can do a show.
still attend. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
just go for it.
Rebels only.
2 nights in the Gelredome.
The
fucking
marketing
go.
will start as Rebels only, then it will turn into okay. Everyone
Rebels
who's not-
only and everyone
also
else.
Everyone else. Anyone only.
Anyone only.
Tickets
Yeah.
are free now.
But it's crazy because like I don't know how do you say his name, Snolly Bollock or
Yeah.
something. He
Yeah.
sells out like four nights,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
just like it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he services any age group and anyway,
Yeah.
like it's huge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could sell out 4 nights. That'd be
That is crazy.
Me with you.
that would be this. I still think though the best venue might be the AFAS
AFAS, yeah.
overall,
Sound wise.
sound wise, and also because you can have a good night without having to. You know what I mean? Like if you do the
Still
Zygodome
intimate.
or
Like,
you do that,
it's
then you
still
really need to
Atmosphere
market
wise,
it,
it
like-
can be
Feels
electric.
boutique. Yeah.
I still, Yeah, the girl
Did you go to any of the the first exclusives?
Yeah. I was at Wild Styles exclusive.
Oh, Wild Styles and the one with noise control.
I never went to that one.
Oh my
unfortunately.
god, yeah. I mean, again, probably it's just because it's just that.
Was that the one where he came from the?
Yeah, from the roof.
They came
Yeah.
from. The,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, that was when it was the Heineken Music Hall, right?
Yep.
I still call it. I don't know why I said that. Past.
Yeah.
I like calling it the Heineken Music Hall.
The one Wild Styles was also really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's
one
my
with,
first ever Dutch party.
the one with Rebellion as well.
Yeah,
That was
Fastest
a s-
selling one.
Yep.
That was a sick night.
that
a
was really
crazy
sick.
night.
That's definitely a really high point in our career. An actual high point.
It was it was just a high point general.
Yeah.
I was 99 kilograms.
I'm glad that everyone could enjoy it the best way they could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a special night.
It was a good one.
What was more stressful, that one or the final dose?
It was that one because I remember with the final dose, I said to you, dude, we survived the second dose, so we can also survive this one.
That's literally that was his quote,
It's cool. Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, well, that's true. And then
yeah.
We survived that, so anything that comes
Yeah,
now,
we can-
easy.
We can do it easy. Yeah.
You still use that anytime a big problem comes up. It's like we survived the second
Yeah.
dose, bro.
Yeah.
you can't use that one anymore. I'm not going to fall for that.
Nah, we can. Obviously, we already said that a little bit, but we're not gonna tell them what, but we are planning maybe to do a new thing, right?
Yeah, I could tell
So
them.
you should get your stress levels,
We're ready.
get them, maybe book out a couple of days at a spa before we dive into it. Something
I'm
like
actually
that,
really excited.
yeah.
like,
So
also I think
the timing's right.
Exactly,
Yeah.
the timing is perfect, and I really feel that more and more things are falling like into place. And
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
direction we have is really cool.
Yeah.
I really feel there's something.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
best
it's something
of
that
both
comes
worlds.
naturally to us.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
I just think like we tried the concept album thing, and I think that wasn't for us. If I'm being honest, the Beyond the Horizon, it was good, but I think that maybe our minds work too separate for that. You know what I mean? Like
You-
I think we're better at focusing on specifics.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we can't do the albums because we done AI and it was good and we done a showcase, but I think Beyond the Horizon maybe would have been better as a showcase. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe like instead of trying to force it to be, because our idea of live acts, well, we were heavily inspired by Sub-Zero Project, that's the truth, because they always do that really well, you know, like Rave into Space. But I just think we're maybe not that. I think we are really specific. That's why Overdose was really good, because we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do, and it's not going to
it was very
go anywhere else.
boxed, no room for like doubts. It was very like clear product. Do you think Artificial Intoxication turned out really well? Also because just the time that was there, you know, like, cause it was in the end a COVID album made, and I mean the context really matched the music.
It gave us space,
Yeah,
because we were like, we don't need to blow people's heads off with it,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because we were like, yeah, Overdose does that, so why would we, like,
It was
like,
very
why
clear
would
what
we
it
do that,
shouldn't,
yeah.
what it not should be.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
the
and
Writers
I-
Camp helped as well, right?
Yeah,
Like you talked
it was
about
the writers camp was great because it gave you a direction and a good start for ideas. I have noticed that you guys, like when your career was kicking off more internationally, you really trying to find the right balance between the studio time and the touring and stuff. You guys always do better under pressure of deadlines.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, when the magic happens, it happens. But in the end, like,
Diamonds are formed under immense pressure.
yeah,
But
exactly.
hair transplants are also forced under immense pressure as well.
But diamonds are forever. No, I think if it's like a few tracks or an anthem or, you know, like a specific show, you can manage that under a deadline. I think the album became, you know, it's just
The thing that made Overdose hard eventually was that we were always trying to outdo ourselves. Like we
Yeah.
were never satisfied because we'd set the bar so high, and we were always every show trying to do more than we actually needed to.
exactly.
And then that was why the deadlines were running always so tight, because we were like, nothing's ever good enough. Like we could extend the deadline by 2 weeks and it would have made any difference.
The
3
only
weeks.
reason why it came out because eventually there was a show date or a release date
Exactly.
that need to be respected, which you've never really have because you always like
Yeah.
didn't make the deadline, but it was just it stops here. I do feel at a certain point it was really affecting
course.
Yeah, the vibe in the studio, and I mean, Steph and I, we can only appreciate and respect that you always wanted to do the best thing ever, right? But it became a bit unrealistic, I think. Plus, what people really forget, both Rebellion and Overdose are like AAA acts, but they needed just as much attention like any other act. So you're pretty much playing the Champions League and the Wimbledon at the same time,
Exactly.
trying to be creative,
Yeah,
but also manage the
there were
time.
two separate things completely.
Yeah.
So it's like basically producing music for two artists.
Yeah. It was not just a side project; it was an
No.
actual act.
Yeah.
You know.
But still, then so impressive if you see throughout those over those years what kind of tracks you also put out in between.
But maybe that's how we work, and that's what's scary about it. But I think we maybe work from biting off a little bit more than we can chew. But we just need to manage how emotional that gets us. Because I think if we can manage that, that's actually the best way we work. Like, I don't know, he's not looking like he agrees with me. But you know what I mean? Do you know why I think...
Microphone just muted. Come here.
This will be the last podcast. No, but I think if they want the deep reason why it is, I think it's because it forces us not to overthink because we don't have time. So if we have like, for example, like we're managing so much stuff or we've agreed to do like four things or whatever, you don't have time to overthink. Whereas when I've watched us hyper focus on one track, that becomes way more overwhelming because we're like, this needs to be this perfect. Like everything needs to be
Too much room for thoughts.
Yeah, it doesn't come naturally because it's like some of the Overdose stuff was literally just like, okay, we're just gonna do this and then do this and do this and this, make this work, right? Okay, like next.
I mean, you're not going into the studio with the idea I'm gonna create a hit.
No,
It all comes naturally.
Most of the Overdose stuff was done in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
There was never too much. When it started dragging on, that's when it started to like, well, shit, this
because it's also not really the type of music or arrangement that should, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all work, but if it takes too much time, it's not because you're almost there, you kind of like lost where you want it to go.
exactly.
And
The crazy story is, right, like I don't know what Sub-Zero Project live act was, but it was one that you done at Shockers. That's all I remember. And you'd had this song.
Experiment.
Yeah, and it was like the song turned into the intro, right?
yeah,
So we watched that and we were really like, wow, that's sick as fuck. And then when we went to the Overdose, that was actually the thing that we were focusing on for the intro. So we wrote a song with Mike Martin, that was to be like that. And then we were trying to make it and we were like, oh, this like doesn't fit any of the other music that we're trying to make after it because we were really fixated on doing this like
just to start.
this thing. And then we realized we were like, that's not what it is. Like that's like, so we almost went a completely different way with Overdose. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like we've always been inspired by those Sub-Zero Project live acts, but maybe that's not us. You know what I mean? Like maybe maybe that structure. You know, like because the one thing about us as well, like and what I think Beyond the Horizon was maybe a little bit confusing is that it covered everything.
Yeah,
but never specified anything. You know what I mean? So it never had like a sound, whereas AI had a sound.
definitely a sound. Yeah.
Whereas
for sure.
Beyond the Horizon just had like almost, it was like Overdose and AI kind of like.
It was a bit of an
mashed up.
abstract fusion of both. But everybody works in a different way. But it's funny because both Nigel and Thomas are great producers, but they really desire a clear theme, and once they have it, they just work around it. So all the live acts, all the concepts, they were there. The ideas were there before there was music, and it's funny how that can just like inspire them, and then they just take it away.
Yeah.
But it needs to be quite clear because, if it becomes too vague, you can also really lose yourself over it. You know, like it becomes a bit too. Then you're just chasing ideas and.
Yeah, I think that's what we sometimes are guilty of, like not following through with the original. Plan.
Taking side paths.
And thinking that we always need to do more than we actually need to do.
It's funny because you guys really always worry if like anything next needs to be better than the last.
Yeah.
Which is not realistic, obviously. But at the same time, you have pulled it off, which is really impressive. But yes, it cannot really crack your brain too much. Like sometimes you also kind of need to trust the process and let it happen. And also, like, the best things can be made here in the studio, but sometimes it's just not picked up live. Could be timing or just whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're learning that a bit.
And also, again, and I hate to complain about it, but these days, probably the tracks that could turn into like anthems or hits or like, you know, those, you know, tracks that you should be able to play in 5 years, they take more time to land and process for people because there's much more going on. It's really
Exactly.
like the instant drops and the bangers that really stick out now. And that's always tricky because like you want the first impression on the crowd to be good, but some music really takes a bit more time to click. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that with a few songs last year, actually. Like, when we play Aliens and Acid now, it's way better than it was last year.
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
Yeah.
Like,
it took
way
a long
better.
time to kind of catch on.
And
a
that
little
one
bit.
I expected actually to instantly pop off.
But when we play that now, we
Yeah.
open our sets with that
Yeah.
now because it's like
I'm glad you kept playing it because it's fucking great now.
goes off. Yeah.
Yeah.
We Own the Night as well. Like, I still think that's the best melodic Rebellion song ever made. But obviously, yeah, stream wise and stuff, it done well, but not the level that we wanted to. But when we play it, always goes down.
But
well.
it does show that
Always goes down.
it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when those tracks that take a bit more time, they stay. You know,
Yeah.
they definitely stay. It's more the gimmicky tracks, the shockers. Then at a certain time,
I think
like
it's TikTok that's
surprise
ruined
gun.
it, bro. Like, it's
Absolutely.
hard because we can all pretend that it's like, oh yeah, I don't care about that, but when promoters start caring about it,
Yeah.
people start caring about it. That's the problem. So like, yeah, you need some sort of presence, and then, but to be honest, I was just laughing at that actually. Like, our TikTok got shadow banned, obviously. But the post that's done the best since we brought it back was the Imaginary,
Imaginary,
remix,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
melodic.
Yeah.
That one is so good.
And also,
Fucking tune,
the
man.
Miracle
Yeah.
bootleg is like our third most viewed track
Mm.
on TikTok. So
Yeah, it's one
I think
of
if the music's
it's one of
good,
our
then it's good.
strengths, to be honest, making a good melodic drop. I think because it
Yeah.
can still have balls to it.
But still a ball. Exactly. Yeah.
I think like when we try to cheese stuff up melodically, it doesn't sound as good.
no,
We're not. That's not a strong point.
No.
What would be your favorite Rebellion track?
Supremacy Anthem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what would be a track that you expected more from, that you really like but feel didn't get really like?
Yeah, we own the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would say
also
so.
thought We Own the Night would have been.
But if I'm thinking about something like in the past, I'm sure we've maybe even spoke about this, but when we'd done the first Overdose, we expected there was a song in it called Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
that was going to get all the love because it was like really raw and rough, and then we just made Bassline Junkie as just like a thing,
Overshadowed it.
and we
felt
weren't
like
we weren't even going to play Bassline Junkie because we were doubting it. It was maybe a bit too like goofy or something at that time. That
Yeah.
wasn't really popular or something.
That's why it went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were really surprised the day after because that was back when Facebook groups were still a thing, and we were obviously quite involved with that at that time, and everyone was talking about Bassline Junkie.
You reckon We Own a Night, if it was released 4 years ago,
Yeah.
would have
Yeah,
done
much
better?
bigger song. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that proves that people might stay away from certain arrangements, and I still think you should not.
we'll never
Yeah.
stop making those tracks.
No.
That's what I spoke to Raymond about after it. Like, the thing that I dislike or that I don't like is when we make a song and we don't believe in it, and then it doesn't do well. Then I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
of
That's
course.
obvious. Yeah.
But I don't mind if we are like we were buzzing about We On the Night before we played it, like, and I would listen to We On the Night myself and enjoy it, and when I play it, I like it. So for me, like, the streams or whatever happens is like, yeah, disappointing, but it's not
Yeah.
a big deal. But when you know a track's not that great, and you spend loads of time on it, and then you play it and it doesn't do great, then it's hard to take because you're like, I know that.
Mm. No, I get that.
Because you can't. That's one thing that no matter how hard you try, you cannot control. You cannot control whether something becomes something, and it's easy in hindsight. Like, a big one is It'll Be Okay, right? Like, everyone's when it became like the hit, it became everyone was like, oh yeah, it's because of this or because of that, and it's like, yeah, it's easy to say that in hindsight, but also you could have said, like, if say that for example it never done well, then you could have been like, oh yeah, the kick roll's annoying.
Yeah, but and that's
So
yeah.
in hindsight you can say
looking
it.
back, it's really if there was
It's
a
easy.
formula, it would be gone instantly because everyone would use it. So yeah, there
Exactly.
is, but I do really feel that momentum is definitely a thing where you premiere it in what setting, and at the same time, which is crucial. You guys are blessed with a filled agenda, so you will know as long as you support the track will have moments live to be, represented to the people, and that one is essential. And I still understand why certain talents are avoiding certain tracks because they don't have the output to do it that way. But
Do you guys have a favorite Rebellion track?
Ghost of Us.
Still, we've not made a good one since.
Oh, but for me, that's
I love Ghost of Us as well.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
You don't really like it, right?
It's not that I didn't like it. It was just like I didn't really have much attachment to it or whatever. But what we were speaking about this recently was that if we had never made Ghost of Us, we'd never made City Lights
Yeah.
because the project of Ghost of Us, we made City Lights inside that after.
really?
So all the sound design's the same.
It's pretty similar if you really listen.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the sounds are pretty much
Pretty similar.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Simulation.
I thought you were going to say Future Power. I still think that's
Dude,
a great
that's a
track. I
great
still
song.
think it's a great
But
track.
if you would have asked me the same question, like the second question was like, is there a track you expected more from? I'm glad I didn't put my money on it, but I honestly thought.
Yeah.
But
At
again,
the writers' camp, me and you were really excited by
I
that
was
song,
like,
yeah.
this is it, and I do think it still is. But there was so much good music coming out.
Yeah.
People kind of had to choose.
I think like the rest of the song we fudged a little bit. Like if you go back and listen to the
the
intro and the other
concept
drop,
was
it's a bit.
fuck,
Yeah.
The
concept was
melody and the
strong.
vocals still.
Yeah,
Yeah, the melody's
high
pretty
level.
good.
I think there should be.
But when you put that out at the same time as City Lights, Live Fast, Die Young,
Yeah.
Simulation, In Control,
you
and then all the overdose shit, Bounce Bitch, Titanium, that's the songs that were that era. So
Do you know what?
it's easy to be
Do you know
overshadowed.
a song though that surprised me the most, and it still surprises me to this day because we can play it anywhere. The rawest party in the world, EDM stage, whatever. It's Live Fast, Die Young.
Yes.
crazy.
It doesn't matter where you play it. Like honestly, like we play it every set, obviously, but it could be a party where everyone's getting smashed, zag kicks, whatever, and every time we play it, everyone sings it and puts their hands up. We don't even need to ask them.
Nah,
They
I-
just do it instantly.
I knew that was going to be a good one.
But on that level where it works everywhere.
No, maybe not that because you never know that, of course. But I just had this feeling with it after the writers' camp.
You know what I regret the most? I think if people actually knew how the track was made, that was
We should have
just-
vlogged it.
oh my god, like
That would have
we
been sick.
explained it on the thing with Mo. We explained the thing. It was the last
It's
day of the writers' camp.
like everyone in the same room. you
everyone,
felt-
everyone couldn't be bothered, to be honest. Everyone was like, "Oh, one
it's
more
like, I have
song.
one idea that I want to share, and then it's sort of like that. Next thing you know, everyone's locked in the vibe,
Yeah.
Mm.
and then you could already hear where it was going. But we're not supposed to make music that last day,
No.
and it was just
It must have been Billy's dad's curry sauce that got us in the
100%.
And the
Definitely shout out to Billy's dad.
And the thing
Legend.
the thing that I was like doubting about it, and again, shows you why you need to get out of your own head, is that I was thinking like, we're going to make this the premiere at Intense.
Mm.
Like I was like, that's not an intense,
not the
not an
vibe.
intense song.
But it's
We played
actually
it- we played
an
it at
intense song.
and I was like, fuck.
This is
me,
an
man,
intense song.
Jesus
It was a
Christ.
big moment, yeah.
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 Must say like, the whole track really because you said like you can play it anywhere. I think even if you don't really listen to the lyrics, but just already like the opening of the track with the vocal, it has such class A international. The association instantly just feels very quality wise, and the melody is just I think it's spot on. I still disagree on how it drops, but we know that like
Oh,
Which
but,
one? You wanted it to come straight in?
yeah, I don't know who that said.
No, what is it? I've never heard
Yeah,
this.
yeah, we had a discussion, I remember.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
That was
Because of the
Save Me,
little-
was it not? That you had.
No,
No, it was also Live Fast.
Live
Die
Fast,
Young.
Die
I
Young.
can't remember.
I-
Refresh my memory,
Yeah,
please.
no, I did wanted to drop
Because it
straight
does-
away.
Because there's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the good thing now is I
Yeah.
was right for the first year and a half because it doesn't make sense.
Mm.
But I'm glad you've done it the way you've done it because now it's actually has become that's the sickening of the track because people let it first like
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets like a hypey
Yeah.
moment. Like Numb does the same.
Yeah.
Simulation kind of does
like
the
two
same.
was it 2 weeks ago at Rebirth? No, Nigel and Thomas dropped it right during their set.
Think
Yeah,
so,
the Journey set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during the Journey set, and I'm like, holy shit! Yeah, that track really services every dance floor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it's one of those melodies that's actually a little bit theatrical.
Yeah,
And that was kind of my thing about the melody. I always said to you, I think the melody's epic, but is it really too like, dun, 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 like
the,
and
the
then when you
kicks
play
balance it off.
Yeah.
The kicks
Yeah.
actually makes it like
Yeah, and that's that's I think where it was born, that like really like Sub-Zero and Rebellion combination, because we tried it with Sinner's Paradise, which was a good song, but I felt like we maybe went too far one way. Live Fast Down was the first one where we were like,
that one made sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then Intense Anthem also is another example
that was great.
of to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always talk about that. They're just so easy to work with. They're
It's
like,
a really good chemistry between you guys. Like,
yeah, we kind of have the same, like, even though maybe we don't have the same sound or the same thing, we have the same like
you
outlook.
trust where it goes, you know,
Yeah.
like exactly.
Yeah, and I'm also a big fan, which helps. Like,
2 ways.
yeah,
And then of course the titanium bootleg. I think that track you can literally play in every
Yeah.
room.
It's so good.
Yeah, it
But
still
I
goes
think
off.
played it
obviously,
supersized actually.
obviously the vocals iconic. Don't get me wrong, but I think the strongest element actually of that track is
First kick.
the intro kick. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's still my every time we sit in the studio and then we're trying to make new kicks,
Ah, it's the best kick.
and Ruben's getting frustrated. He looks at me and I go, "Bounce, bitch." 'Cause that's what it's
Yeah.
called, the kick. And he's like, "No, not again." And I'm like,
No. The funny thing is, we actually used it again recently in the D Block and Estefan collab,
Yep.
Yeah.
and it's slaps.
Slaps.
again. Yeah.
people screamed again like
Yeah,
it was
it's-
new. We were
Yeah,
like,
It
fuck.
slaps.
we've
yeah,
actually
for
been
sure.
playing the Gladiator one as well. Remember we
the
played it in the
first one.
Journey set.
Yeah.
We've been playing it in sets again, and it actually still works. So.
It's weird when you hear that one because
Yeah, you're like,
you're
whoa.
like, oh, the fake drop is coming. Oh,
Yeah.
it drops right away.
I think in the end the Journey thing was a good concept for. I see now why some promoters have tried it, because it's not about like trying to make old music, but I think it's reminding that you don't need to just go one
Yeah.
way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that's what I learned from doing the Rebirth and the Hardfest one. That it was like, okay,
And some of the songs
We can
still
still
slap as good as what a new song would.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't need to do it every weekend, but like to maybe play one of those songs every
You
now and
should maybe
again
like
is.
alternate and maybe play one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
now it's just really divided like over your whole discography. At the same time, I think really, luckily it's called a journey set or evolution set or whatever, so people understand what you're gonna do. But actually, if you think of it, it's just your best of
Yeah.
in a set. But it's just I think if you play it locally, people will be like, hey, I want to hear the. Funny, it's funny how it works, right? Like if people know what to expect, like this is a journey set, they really appreciate that you balance it off. If it's just a DJ set by Rebellion, people, you should just judge this how the set is. I mean,
but expectations in hardstyle is a big thing, right?
huge. But imagine if Swedish House Mafia would do the same. They would only
You'd
play
be
the tracks of
buzzing.
last year.
You're like, yeah.
It's absolutely not. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing sets like this for sure. And it also helps the new visitors, introduces them to big tracks.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because maybe they knew the track, but they've never heard it
I
live.
never heard it.
Yeah.
I'm sure about that because they definitely heard the
Yeah, because if you were like 16 at the time, maybe
Yeah.
when Satellites came
Yeah.
out, you probably heard that, or you were
Yeah.
Exactly.
listening to shit or something. Like,
But
you just weren't there.
understand what it does to the brain, because then it's not just that they hear it live, they'll see someone else respond to the track live. So it was not this edition, but the year before I was at Rebirth, I went to see the Journey set of D-Block and Estefan. And it's great to see that there were younger and older visitors at the same time. And obviously the tracks, they go back, 20 years?
Yeah.
Um,
20 years.
so
Wow.
they would play tracks that are absolutely bangers for a certain generation, but it's so contagious for the younger fans when it goes off. It picks you up, right?
It does help when you make constant hits, though, right?
It does. It does make life a lot easier.
You know, the thing is that's the problem with our older music is that we changed it so much. That's the real thing. So, like, when we went to see the D Block and Estefan, we went for a little bit for their night, and
It does make sense. Like it's in a
yeah, it
line.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's not like this is not a dig at them, but it's always been the same like D Block and Estefan sound, because that
Consistent.
is like sick. That's why
Yeah.
it's a hit, because it's a D Block and Estefan sound. So, but for us, like, if we were to play like an Uprising track and then a new track, they do sound like they've been made by someone else. Like,
Yeah,
you would
that's
believe
true.
that.
Yeah.
You would think this is two different artists, and that's why when we done the Journey set, like, it was difficult to do
The order
the
also,
track list,
yeah.
because we were like, does any of this make sense, or is this really like just up?
Nigel
down,
and
side,
Thomas had the
side,
same
like-
thing.
Yeah,
They had the same thing, because obviously they were also playing a lot harder in the beginning days, and the sound design was definitely not there yet. But it is fresh to hear it in a set, because why are we so focused on a certain line that
yeah.
60 minutes.
I think in the end, the audience don't even think about it on that
No, we're
level of
probably,
detail. We're
we'll
just
probably stop
thinking,
listening to it now also.
yeah, the podcast. They've tuned
Just
out.
trying to convince people that you guys actually think of what's happening during the set.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that's been. I don't know how much we've recorded because this one ran out. But nah, I think
At least
see.
you got the pretty faces on camera.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. So whenever people think that it's just us that are behind everything, they know that there's more than that. But I think it is. It's the normal in the scene. I think if you're a big established artist and you don't have like people also helping you with that, I think that's even stranger, right? Like
It's not
it's more
possible.
common that like
It would be a bit sad because that means that you would be constantly dealing with stuff and then it's already work, but you would really be running a business. And I think the worst thing that can happen to an artist with a successful DJ career is that in 20 years you look back and you realize you actually never really took in the moments that really counted. Already there's sometimes shows that you might have taken for granted, and there's going to be a day you're like, fuck, just take me back, let me perform one more time. So yeah, whether you could pull it off totally yourself, I think it's great that you just you focus on what's essential and
yeah.
take it in, you know.
Yeah, there's the landscape changes as well now. You've got the social media, you've got like all these like political stuff behind the scenes, you know, like exclusivities, all those kind of things that you don't want to be mixing that with making music and performing. It's just
It will affect the artistic side and everything. It all begins with music in the end, so that's where you definitely want to be dealing with most of the time with the red headspace. Yeah.
You will always come further in life when you gather
a team, yeah,
the right people around you.
100%.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, boys.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Thank you,
having
lads.
us.
Swaginators.
Cheers, lads.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Bye bye.